I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up. It is that time again. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. I am John Greaves III. I am the co-founder of Garage Gym Life, along with my lovely wife, Naomi, and I blessed to be the host of this show. So if this is your first time checking out the show, thank you. Appreciate you giving us a chance. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe. And I promise that you are going to enjoy the next 3 hours, 3 hours or so. I'm going to ride with you through the 9 a.m. Eastern time hour. Let me go ahead and let you know what's on today's show, though, to prove that you're going to have a good time. So, first hour, we're going to have news and other things, plus a brand new segment of our most popular, a brand new installment of our most popular segment, which is Recliner of Rage. So Recliner of Rage today, though, is going to have a special guest. Channel member Trevor Greenberg from the Two Disgruntled PMs podcast is going to join us because he's mad and he is going to tell us why. That's going to be at the 6:45 a.m. hour. So about 45 minutes into the show. Then in the second hour, 7 a.m., the Statty Daddy himself, Kurt Stadsvold from the Kurtlocker YouTube channel, is taking a break from his countdown to retirement from the United States Air Force to give us the most comprehensive Strongman Throwdown update on the entire internet. And I can say that because he's organizing the Strongman Throwdown, and he's here to give us the update. So it's going to be comprehensive. Then in the third hour, we're going to do React and Respond. That's basically where we look at news items that came across my radar, stuff that I saw in emails, stuff that I saw on YouTube, here on YouTube, maybe things I saw on Instagram, whatever. And we are going to react and respond to them. And there are a bunch of them. So that's a really fun segment because I get to show you guys what I've seen and react to it. Along with you. And then in the final hour, we're going to have another installment of another segment that I am really excited about. This has only been like the third week of it, but it's called You Pick the Topic. And basically in this segment, I give you guys a chance to discuss. Basically, you come on the show and you can talk about anything that you want to talk about. You can stay in the live chat and just say, hey, I want to go back and talk about this thing that you mentioned in the first hour or whatever. You guys pick the topic, or you can create an entirely new topic. And in this case, we actually have Jared Martin. You have the opportunity, if you so choose, to come on the show to discuss your topic. And so Jared is going to be coming on. Jared's also a channel member, by the way, shout out to him. And he's going to be joining us to talk about something that he's discovered about the way that Rep Fitness discloses the gauges of steel that they use in their benches. So that is going to be, I think, a really interesting discussion. So I see people have been here since, let's go ahead. The live chat is filling up. So like I said, smash the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let's say hello to everybody in the live chat. So at 4:46 a.m., keep in mind the show starts at 6 a.m. At 4:46 a.m., Carlos, who is in the Central Time Zone, so it was 3:46 in the morning for him, was here. He's the first one in the building. He said, we made it to the best party of the week. My man, thank you so much for all of your support. Man, I'm telling you, you guys fuel my fire, man. Carlos said he showed up smashing the like button. He slid in like that with his thumb, smashing like. I love that. My guy, Jared, I just talked about him. Jared is already here, 5:02. He's tan. He's rested and excited. Had a little vacay. He's coming off vacation. He's ready to go. Say happy Friday. Let's see here. Carlos said, link has been shared. It would be great to see more new awesome members in the chats. Heck yeah. I mean, so I want to say we actually do have a new member. So when I mentioned that Trevor is going to be on for Recliner of Rage, Trevor is actually a new member. So I'm going to show that right there. So he became a new member and recently, and so I always get like a notification when we get new members. So shout out to him. T Dog 19 is a new YouTube member. I appreciate that, and I want to, at some point, if we have time today, I'll let you guys know why that is so important to me. But yeah, I just know for right now that it is very, very important to me whenever I see you guys supporting us with this. My man Eric Echoes, what's up, my dude? He said, let's go. Eric I want to say, has been up longer than anybody else here. Okay. And he's already at work, putting in work. So I got to make sure I do it. Well, okay, maybe not. But Tattoo Saying's got an advantage. He's in the future because he's in the UK and their time zone is ahead of ours. So he's actually living in the future, looking back at the past to be able to even communicate with us. The technology he uses to communicate with us is amazing because he's talking through a time tunnel to even communicate with us. I appreciate you being here, though, my man. All right. Hey, Matthew Porter, what's up, my man? Hey, are you on spring break this week? My daughter has been on spring break. First of all, these kids get way too many vacations, but I also know that when they get vacations, the teachers do too. So I don't know if you got a vacation this week, Matthew, but I appreciate you being here. And let's see here. All right, Dr. Michael Brantley, what's up, man? It's stupid early for you. All right, it's 3 a.m. now. He checked in at 6:01 a.m. It is 3 a.m. where he is, and he don't care. He does not care. Hey, Boulder's line. I'm telling you, they're in the future. What makes me mad is they won't tell me what the stock market is doing in the future. They won't divulge that. They keep it to themselves. So, that, which I feel is selfish, but, that's just me. All right. So now that we've said hello to everybody who's in the live chat, let's go ahead and get into, we got a lot going on. So let's jump into our first segment. And that is news and other things. Let's go. Okay, news and other things. First item, I want you guys to know that the first and most important item to me is that Matt Welch, the Tattoo Saying himself, has finally achieved his goal. Matt has been talking about deadlifting 300 kilos, and he finally did it. I think it was last weekend, Matt, that you did it. But regardless, he deadlifted 600. So no, it's not. It's 300 kilos. So it's 600 and I wrote it down. 661 pounds. Give it up for Matt. Give it up for Matt. Give it up for Matt. Let's go. Give it up for Matt. Give it up for Matt. There you go. My dude, Matt. You know how he get down? He's the strongest around. So I told him that I wanted to, unfortunately, it was not live streamed, so I wasn't able to watch his feat live. But he was good enough to share the links on Instagram. He DM'd them to me. And so I went ahead. So he said it was this past Sunday. There you go. All right. So I told him that if he would send me all the information, I would go ahead and bring him in. Oh, shoot. You ain't said nothing but a word. I will invite you right now. Matthew, say if you're not wrestling deer right now, if you got time to come on, heck yeah, let's do it. Boom. All right. I just sent you the invite on Instagram. All right. So in that case, we'll wait for him to make his way on here, and then we will go through his success with him, because that's even better, because that way he can talk us through everything, how he's feeling and everything. Meantime, there's 728 of you watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. It's for the culture. It's important. Do it. All right. Hey, Carlos, do you think I'm kidding? We've seen video footage of Matt wrestling deer. All right. The deer was minding its own business, and Matt was out there wrestling the deer. Look at that. He didn't pull the world sideways. Look at that. Everything's sideways in the UK. All right. All right. So I know I don't have a ton of time with you because your boss probably thinks you're actually working. So let's go ahead and let's jump. First of all, congratulations. Okay. Congratulations. All right. So let's go through this competition. First of all, we're going to start out with we don't bury the lead. We're going to go straight to the deadlift PR. Let's go.
Come on, Matthew.
So first of all, let's stop right there. Who's that yelling? That sounds, is that a friend? Did you hear that? Is that your mom? Is that a friend? Who is that?
That's my mom and my partner.
I could tell when I heard her voice. Yeah. That sounds like a mom. Okay. Yeah. I was like, that sounds like a mom. First of all, she didn't say Matt. She said Matthew. Okay. So I was like, that's his mom. All right, let's go.
Yeah, I know you don't get it then.
Come on. You know you got this. Come on, Matt. Come on, Matthew.
You had no choice when mom telling you to do it.
No, when she tell me off, then I got no choice.
Oh, look at him go. Look at that. Nice. That was awesome. I want to watch you strain a little bit more.
You know you got this. Come
on. So this was done on a rising bar for this event. They started at 90 kilos and just kept going up by 10 kilos or 22 pounds for every single rep.
So it's rising bar, right?
So starts at 90 kilos, which is what, 108, about 200 pound-ish, I think.
Yeah. You said 100 kilos? That's like 220, something like that.
Yeah. And then it goes up to, it goes up until we didn't finish. There's a chap in the far right corner just opposite the referee's hand. Very big dude, 170 kilo in body weight.
That guy right there? That guy right there? Look at that.
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to know, how were you feeling when you I mean, that's great, but I don't know him. I know you. So how were you feeling when you finally pulled that, man? You've been wanting to pull that for so long.
It felt really good. When I first started my warm-ups, my very first warm-up, I was sick.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'd woken up, I got stumped, I'd like abdominal cramps. It's like I'd done 1,000 crunches in the night. My stomach was killing.
You think it's your nerves because something always happens before your meets, man? Is it just nerves?
It could be. It's not very often I get the opportunity to pull a max deadlift in competition. It's normally for reps.
Right.
My goal to hit that 300 this time.
Yeah.
So I think the nerves of me putting myself on the spot like that could have got to me a little bit. But once I'd got more than 200 kilos on the bar, everything just started firing really well.
Yeah, that bar. So Carp said that bar was moving. Carlos said, "Great job, Matthew." Now, don't think Carlos is on your side because he said, "Poor Bambi," because they're talking about you wrestling that deer. Okay, I'm never forgetting that. Hey, Matt, that's why he's able to deadlift like that. He's been abusing poor wildlife. All right, so now let's move into the next thing. I'm gonna keep the sound off so you can talk us through this one. So this is your yoke and log press. And then I don't know if Kurt's on here, but I'm going to make sure I show him. There's one event I've never seen before, but we're going to do this one first.
Okay.
So this is, hold up a second here. Yeah, there we go. So this is your yoke. So that's moving really well too. How much is that?
240 kilos on that, so about 500 pounds, just over.
Yeah. 240, yeah. And then you follow that up with a log. Okay.
Yeah, straight into the log. This is 80 kilos. My first rep I missed because I actually dropped my smelling salts by the log in preparation for the log because it's not my best event. And now I'm looking around like, where's my salts gone? And the referee had moved them, thinking they were someone else's. So I was fuming.
Oh man!
My second rep, I went on the noise. So the second rep moved really well.
Yeah, so it looks like you pull. That's when is that why when you put it down, the referee, you're like, where is that? and the
I'm
referee.
looking for the salt
And
moved them.
that's what you look. I was wondering. I was like, what's he looking for?
Yeah, and then they're like, "Here's the chalk. Here's the chalk." I'm like, "I don't care about chalk."
Like, no. I see. Okay, so I see that guy in the back. Shout out to him. He found some ammonia for you. Hey, look, all they had to do was grab somebody's old sock. That would have done it. There we go.
The ammonia that handed me was so weak. I was like, "There's no point."
Yeah. So wherever that big dude is, wherever he was, hey, get him to slide his sock off and let you swift that. That'd have done the exact same thing.
I'd have either been really strong or unconscious.
Hey, look, you know what? Log isn't your best event, but man, that actually moved pretty well, man. You got it in a nice, strong rack position. You're still struggling with the lockout a little bit, but that looked good, man. That looked good.
The aim was to do 2 reps and have a fast yoke. I did the yoke in 7 seconds, I think. So that was a good time.
Okay.
And then the log was just, if I can hit the 2 reps, that's the target. Anything more than that's great. Had I had my ammonia for the thirst, I think I'd have had 3. But
I got you.
It wouldn't have made a difference to the overall placings anyway.
So Kurt says he's on. All right, Kurt. This is what I wanted you to see. You've probably seen something like this, but I saw this. I was like, what in the Oxford on the Thames is going on over here? All right. What is this? And so here we go. That right there. All right. So I've never seen this before. I mean, I was like, oh, because I was like, what's he doing? And I was like, oh, okay.
Yep. Okay. Welcome to the yoke pin press in strongman.
I was about to say they figured out a way to get bench press into a strongman competition.
They have, yep. We do it on a yoke instead.
And you know what though? I would say that it's a lot more visually interesting. And this is saying somebody who's a powerlifter, right? I think that this for the spectators is a lot more visually interesting because they see people carrying this thing on their shoulders and all that. Then they see you do it like this. So like they have an idea of how heavy it is. In powerlifting, you kind of can't tell because you're just like, okay, well, how much? People always like, well, how much is that? You know, that's what people always say. Well, how much is that? I can't tell if you lifted more than that other person, except maybe unless you got dramatically more plates on the bar. You know what I mean? So like if you go from like a red kilo plate, so that's a 25. The red kilo plates are 25s, so that's like 55 pounds. And if you go from a blue rather to which is 20 kilos or 44 pounds, and you go from that to the red, which is 55, the average person has no idea that you're lifting more weight. It just looks like, you know, oh well, he's got one plate, so what? I like this from the visual standpoint of it being more interesting. All right, so now Kurt said he doesn't like the way it looks. He says he doesn't find it visually appealing, but I'm just saying I can say that as a spectator and somebody who's not a strongman competitor, to me, it's like I like it whenever somebody's bench pressing and it's easier for the crowd to tell how heavy that is versus what somebody else did. Because if I see you've got 2 or 3 stacked up and the last guy had 1, okay, well, you're obviously lifting more, you know? So I like that.
Well, this was 221 pounds, so 100 kilos for reps. For strongman, if we're going to have anything in the way of bench press, it needs to be visually entertaining.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not just a sport, it's got to be visual as well because it's an entertainment as well. So, this was their way of trying to introduce a bench press because we've never had bench press really in strongman. I think there was a competition many years ago, I think it was the early 90s, they did bench press with motorbikes.
Oh, wow. See, now that's also, that's in the category of stuff is like, if you're a strong dude, that's probably not really impressive. But, because you're like, you know, it's impressive to me. But I mean, if you're like strong enough to do it, you know, if you're like a 700-pound bencher, you're probably like, okay, whatever. Right. Yeah. Now Carp said, he said that scares him. He said, it looks like if you miss groove, it's going to crush you. But
that's why we've got the bar's static, so there's no way for it to crush you.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like based upon where it is over your face.
Drop that and that's fine.
Yeah, it looks like the bar is actually too high. You know what I mean? For it
That
to crush you.
That was touching my chest. Just.
Unless you dropped it, then it could do some work to your sternum. But yeah, I just thought that was pretty interesting. No Fate has arrived. What's up, Jonathan? What's up, my man? And Kurt said, nice work on the events. And let's see here. He said he's looking for Jared. Yeah, Jared is pressing and curling right now. He's in his gym lifting weights right now. Matt so right now we're watching Matt. He took a break from wrestling deer, and Carlos is a little bit upset about the deer situation. By the way, we're gonna have to get him calmed back down.
I only wrestle to rescue them. I don't do it to hump them.
Yeah,
normally when they're on wrestling them, so I can pin them down and free them.
Yeah, see, he's trying to rescue. He's helping the deer, Carlos. It's okay. And Boulder's Lion said, I think I've seen the motorcycle bench press. He said, I watched Strongman instead of football for Thanksgiving. So yeah, I don't blame you, man, because all that's on Thanksgiving is the Dallas Cowboys. Who wants to watch that?
I watch this.
Let's see here. All right, we got two more. It looks like, we got two more events. So there's the sandbag medley. As you guys can see, I already watched all of these. So, all right, so the sandbag medley. So this goes lightest to heaviest, or does it go heaviest to lightest? It looks like it goes lightest to heaviest.
The first one was an actual sandbag. The second one is a gravel bag, which was weird because it doesn't move like a sandbag. It's almost solid.
Okay.
And then we have the Husafeld bag carry for 20 meters.
Gotcha. But it does go lightest to heaviest, right?
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
We went 70, 80, and then the Husafeld was 100.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
refrigerated carry, yeah. So 100 is 220. You said 80 kilos.
80, so we dropped 44 pounds off that, 180
it is
pounds.
Like 170 something. This is me just using like powerlifting weight classes. 80 is, well, let me just look it up.
150, 180, and 221.
All right, 150, you said? 150.
Yeah.
So 150 is 330 pounds.
No. The first sandbag was 70 kilos, around about 150 pounds.
Yeah, 154. And then the next one is
an 80 kilo sandbag.
All right, that's 176.
Yeah, and then the 100 kilos was the 220.
100 is, and that's 220. Yeah. All right. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Kevin checked in from Japan. Kevin, we are watching Matt's successful competition. He not only broke the U90 kilogram natural deadlift world record with a 300 kilogram deadlift, but he also won the entire competition. So that was that
was my second event win.
Nice, man.
I won the deadlift for my weight category. I won the sandbag as well.
Nice. And then the last event was stone loading. So
let's go. All right.
Come on, Matt.
Mama's calmed down. She said Matt this time.
Come on, Matthew.
Oh, right back at it, Matthew. I love it.
Come on.
I love it. You tell your mom I'm a fan.
Come on.
Yes. Last one, Mickey.
Come on, Matt. Straight up.
And then that was 80 kilos up to 120 for the final stone. So an 80, 90, 100, 110, 120.
Okay, so 120. All right, so I do not remember. 120 is like 264. Okay, I know that. So I should know that because there's a 120 weight class in powerlifting, but I could never remember if it was, first of all, because it ain't my weight class. So what do I care? But it's 200. I know it's like less than 265. So yeah, okay, so 264 and a half, basically.
Yeah,
that's solid work, man. I mean, that is solid work, dude. I'm super proud of you in general because I know how long you've been working on this, and how bad you've wanted it. But I'm most proud of you for that deadlift because, and I'm gonna watch it one more time. I want to say it one more time. You're strapping in, and we're gonna watch it one more time with you before I let you go, because this to me is just awesome. So, and plus Kevin hadn't seen it. Yeah, that's a good enough reason. Yeah, Kevin hasn't seen it. All right, look how fast this moves, Kevin. Look at that. Look at that. Like it's nothing.
I was a little bit gutted. They went to 310 immediately after I'd done this lift, but I didn't have chance to come back and recover to reattempt it. So by the time I'd recovered, they were up to 320 kilo. I broke 320 off the floor, but I didn't finish the lift. Had they given me a couple of minutes, I think I'd have had the 310.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I believe that. Hey, but look,
I'm a little bit of me like I could have done more.
You got a PR and you have a goal. You got a PR and you got a new goal. So hey, it is what it is, man. Can't get mad at that.
By November, they're holding a sanctioned record breakers competition for the world records again in November. So I will be going to go to that, and I will be attempting to break it even more.
Dude, man, I'm so proud of you, dude. Like I said, it's like I've watched your development over the years, man, and I just think this is phenomenal. Man, keep it up, and I got nothing to say except well done, man. We're all over here pulling for you, and so I feel like we all won because you got that, man. I think that's awesome. Yeah, there you go. The ponytail of power. Yeah, that's it. There you go. We got a question for you before I let you go. So, have you seen those sandbag Atlas stones?
Yes, I have. The ones that are made by Cerberus Strength. I haven't had a go on them yet. I've seen people using them. They've had good reviews. I've not tested one myself, though.
Okay. All right. Well, there's your answer, Kurt. I don't know if Kurt has seen it, but I'll ask Kurt. But when he comes on a little bit later on, we can talk about the sandbag Atlas stones again. Let me go ahead and star that so I don't forget. All right, man. Dude, I'll let you get back to your day. If you can hang around in the live chat longer, please, of course, you're always welcome. But I appreciate you jumping on here.
As I can find space to dodge away from work.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Good time you going to the bathroom. All right.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm going to be at least 45 minutes.
I see you, man. Talk to you later, Matt. Later.
Take care. You guys.
All right. That was our guy, Matt Welch, man. That's it feels like when we all got to be happy when somebody from the family does well, and that makes me happy right there. All right, so now let's move on. That was the first news item, in my opinion, the most important news item of the day. Now we're going to move on to the second news item, and that is Elite FTS. I got an email from them. I hate it when people say it like that too. Like I didn't just join the email newsletter list, but like, oh yeah, Elite FTS sent me an email. It makes it sound like it's just you, right? Okay, I got their email newsletter came out, and it said they had said we have attachments you never knew existed. I'm like, all right, fair enough. So I went ahead and went to their website to check out, because I'm like, well, I want to see these attachments that these mythical attachments, and so that leads us to the first screen share of the day. Yep, it's Elite FTS. That's right. Calm down, ladies. I got to do the show. I got to do the show now. Relax. Got to relax. Drink some herbal tea. Relax. They're out of control, man. Hey, do me a favor. All 820 of you, real quick, take a second and hit the like button. All right. I need you to subscribe as well. But if you just hit that like button for me, that will go a long way to helping out. And then if you're so inclined, do me a favor and share the video with just one other person who you think will enjoy this. All right. So hit like, hit subscribe if you want to, and then share this video with somebody else who you think might enjoy this content. Okay. Do that for me. There's 830 of you. So, hey, if I get even half of you to do it, we're winning. Okay. That's winning to me. All right. So now let's get back to it. So Elite FTS says we have attachments that you have never seen. So let's check it out. So, or I'm sorry, that we never knew existed. So first of all, First attachment I saw, I was like, that's a lie. I knew all about the Spud Econo low pulley system. I've had it downstairs in my home gym for quite some time since I bought it out of Mark Spud Bartley's own hands at the Arnold in 2013. So there. However, you can't judge everything based upon that. And so I started scrolling down, and I'm glad I did, because this jumped out to me. I said, well, what the heck is this and why? So this is the Elite FTS 3-inch muscle mace. So I think the first of all, this guy, I forgot his name, but he was originally an Olympic lifter. And then I remember they did a lot of articles on him on T Nation, because they said his calves were so big that he couldn't hit depth in a powerlifting meet. He kept on getting red lighted. I'm like, really? Your calves are so big that you get red lighted for not hitting depth? Really? Your calves are too big? That's what's wrong? Okay, no problem. Nevertheless, the muscle mace, right? So the point of it is it challenges your grip strength. They're 3 inches in diameter. And as you can see from my man right here, you can attach them, and then you're just grabbing them, I guess, to be honest, wherever you feel like it. But it just gives you a different stimulus. And that's one of the things that I'm all about, is whenever you can get a different stimuli, just, from different attachments. There is a limiting factor in that I don't know if there's much more you can do with this thing other than, you could obviously do pull downs, you can overhead extensions and, push outs, things like that. But, it's for, $50. But hey, apparently it was in demand because right now there are only 8 left according to the website. So there's that. The next attachment that got my attention, and I actually like this more. Let's see if we can find it. So they got these Swiss multi-grip fat cable attachments. So it's like fat handles, the fat bar cable attachments, the deluxe double D hand. So all of these are fat handles, right? Fat bar lat pull down, revolving, 36-inch fat bar. Great. All right, revolving pro style, that's phenomenal. Somebody mentioned this to me. I did the video where I was talking about, it's interesting because I did a video talking about an upside down pull-up bar, and everybody started telling me about upside down pull down bars. And I'm not going to, I'm going to give every one of those people the benefit of the doubt, because the difference between a pull up and a pull down. And what I said was, I think I said that JD Gym Equip was the only company that I knew of that made the upside down pull down bar, right? So then, of course, I started seeing after that. It's kind of like when my wife told me, her name's Naomi, and she told me that she never meets anybody else named Naomi. And since then, not only have we met tons of people named Naomi, but there's an entire town just about 50 miles north of us called Naomi. They got an elementary school. Like, we're driving, this little side tangent, story time with Grandpa, where we went caving, right? So I'm going with the kids caving and some friends. And as we're going by, I see the sign, Naomi Elementary. I said, seriously? Got out the car, took a picture, right? So now it's at the point where we don't even make a remark about it anymore. I'm just like, okay, Naomi, you said that nobody else has the name Naomi, but apparently that's not true. So the same thing happened. As soon as I said that I only knew of one brand that had upside down pull-up bar, I not only started seeing a bunch of them, but people started telling me about it. And one of the brands that they told me about is Elite FTS. So they've got the fat bar reverse lat pull down. And what I like about it is it's got the thick grip, which I said was the problem with simply getting a normal pull down bar and flipping it upside down. Like, that's part of the solution, but really to do it right, you need to make the handle thicker. So you might need to get like a fat grip or something like that in order to make the handle thicker, because you really want like 1.75 to 2 inches in diameter for the handle. So I do like this. All right. Also, I like the angle. The angle looks good. It's not very, very abrupt. And so I think that's more ergonomically advantageous. But that wasn't the thing. This is what I like that really got my attention. Fat bar single D handle cable attachment. Again, it's a fat bar cable attachment, and I think it'll challenge your grip. It's just a different stimulus because there's so many cable attachments that have a thinner diameter. I just think that your body can always use the benefits of thicker handles, even if it limits the amount of weight you can do. Now, I don't know if it's beneficial enough to be worth $91, but I do like it. And then there is the where is this thing? There's a pull through handle. All this stuff I knew about. In fact, we've got a dang video on our channel that's a review of the Spud Econo hammer. So you don't tell me you got attachments I didn't know existed. But yeah, so they've got a pull-through handle on here somewhere, and I thought that was really cool too. This is kind of like interesting. The lat bar, and so these 4-inch balls on the end. That's going to be another. It's kind of like the pro handles for pull downs, but it's going to obviously challenge your grip a whole lot more. So that to me is kind of interesting. But I'm trying to find the pull through handle because I know I saw it. I just can't remember where it was, and now it's personal. So now I gotta find it. Come on now, where you at? There we go. All right, because I wanted to show it to you guys. So this is the pull through handle. So obviously you attach it there, and you do pull throughs. You can attach this to like a tire sled or any other kind of sled for that matter, and do pull throughs. So that's another way to get like some hinge work, especially if you don't have kettlebells. So I like that one for that reason as well. So I figured I'd just let you guys know about it. If you are interested in it, then I will put the link in the video description. And I think we got some questions about it right now. So let's see here. Jason, what's up? Oh, Kurt, the only one you see? You only going to speak to Kurt? Is that what's going on here? That's what's happening? What's up, man? Eric said, I've been meaning to get that pull-through handle. Yeah, I think it's like I said, I think it's an interesting product. Let's see here. And all right, so I will skip that comment because that's basically some back and forth about something else. Jared, there we go. I was looking for this. So Jared said that the double D handle have a straight side and then the other is angled like the new Rogue attachment. So I cannot answer that question because I've not seen the new Rogue attachment, but that's primarily because I haven't been on the Rogue website since I bought some half-field handles with 5/8 pins. So let's go to the your specific. So the double D handle. Let's go look at it. Double D handle. You're talking about the deluxe one. So there's this one right here. Let me go ahead and share screen again. All right, so that's the fat bar. So this is technically a double D handle, but I don't know if that's the one you're talking about or if it's this one. And what I hate is a lot of these things, they only have like one picture. You know, they don't show like different angles. So I wish they would do better, but I don't know if that answers your question, Jared, but that's pretty much the only angle I have, and I've never used it, so I don't know. I don't know. All right. Okay, and Matt says I got to get a pair of D handles. I'm setting up a makeshift Hercules hole to prep for the next comp. Yeah, you better get some serious ones too, because you don't want that thing snapping or breaking on you. That could that put your eye out. That put your eye out. Hey, shout out to the 1,013 of you. Keep on sharing the link. Everybody that's watching, please hit that like button for me. Smash the like button. Then okay, so you said, what does that do for you with the two sets? It says the cable point faces two directions. You're gonna make me go back in here, aren't you? Now it won't even pull up. Okay, there we go. I don't know the answer to that question, so let's go and look at it again together. Designed for lat pull down, Cedar, Rose, and more. And see, that's why I said that having more angles, including a photo of somebody actually using the thing, would be helpful. I don't know. Let's look at the reviews. Okay, nobody's reviewed it. So I am afraid, Jared, that I, for right now, am going to remain in the valley of ignorance with you because I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. Carb said, is that their version of the Nick Hillis X attachment? I don't know who Nick Hillis is, so I cannot answer that either. I don't know who Nick Gillis is either. And Jared said it's a mystery. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind calling them and asking them. So obviously I have to do it after wouldn't that be wild if I did it during the show? I'm not going to, but wouldn't that be wild? But yeah, I'll call them and find out. And then I'll let you know. All right. Jared said, thanks for checking. You're welcome, man. It's my pleasure. It's the whole point of me being here. All right. It's 6:42. We have time for one segment, and then we got to get my guy. We got to get ready for Recliner of Rage. So, and let's see, what can I'm trying to find something that we can do quickly. All right, so the French Sport Austin Bar. I think we can do this pretty quickly. The French Sport Austin Bar. This is one of those what you call it? That's kind of like just a public service announcement. So the French Sport said that this bar is about it's low in stock. Their email newsletter came out and says like it's got low stock. So if you want to get one of these 20 kilogram bars, it's available in Glacier Blue and stainless steel. Glacier Blue, obviously, and stainless steel both have the green French Sport end cap. It's $325. It says it's a 20 kilogram bar. It does have a center knurling. So it's got 16 inches loadable sleeve length. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's what the Cerakote looks like on it. So if you guys are interested in it, it is a 28.5 millimeter shaft. So if you guys are interested in it, like I said, you better jump on it now because they've said that stock is low. So when they say stock is low, there's another shot of the knurling. You guys can check out what the knurling looks like up close. When they tell you stock is low, you need to believe them. Okay, don't be the one. Like they used to say in the Marine Corps, be the one that forgets. All right, and then you end up living without, and you be mad. So, just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I've got the link for it or I'm putting the link in the video description for you guys. So anybody who wants to grab it, you can go ahead and grab it. All right, now all these other news items we're gonna push to later on in the show. There'll still be news at that time, but we're gonna stop for a second because it is time. It's time for the most popular segment. So before we do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a destination. And that destination is boom. Shout out to everybody on LinkedIn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're just in time for the most popular segment of our show, and that is Recliner of Rage. Let's jump right into it head first right now.
It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Okay, so if you've never seen Recliner of Rage, you're in for a treat because I know people, that's human nature. You like to laugh at other people's pain because, I mean, you know, it doesn't affect you. What do you care, right? So Recliner of Rage is basically, the premise of it is something in our home gym has betrayed us. And typically it's me who's mad because something will, look, I don't go looking for these problems, all right? I don't want the smoke. But every week something happens to me related to my home gym and I got to go off, right? But I am going to put my own personal anger for rage and frustration on hold because this show is about my audience and giving them a safe space to express themselves. And so today for Recliner of Rage, we have a special guest. And that special guest is my guy, Trevor Greenberg. Now, Trevor has been a subscriber for a while, and he recently became a member last week. In fact, he joined the tribe as a paid channel member here on YouTube. So shout out to him, but that's not why he's here. Trevor has been wronged in his home gym journey. He has been wronged, I say. And our program stands ready to support him in his rage, as we do all home gym owners across the world who are betrayed by their home gym equipment or the home gym equipment providers. So let's give Trevor a warm welcome and prepare ourselves to be mad on his behalf. Come on, Trevor. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look at that melodious podcaster voice. Got the crowd going wild. Ladies, please, just stop it. Sorry, I apologize. They're like that every time people get off the bus. They just start going crazy. All right. So Trevor, welcome to the show. First of all, thank you for your support. And because you support me, I am here to support you. Okay, so go ahead. Tell me why you're mad. The floor is yours.
So I think it was 2 weeks ago, you brought up the Bob and Brad eye massager. And you showed us the trailer from your very
Okay, first of all, let's
wife.
stop right there. Hold on. Let's stop right there. I don't like how you began that, Trevor. Talking about you brought up the Bob. What do I have to do with this? Am I at fault here? Is this my fault? Let's clarify that now.
Well, you introduced me to this new product.
Be very careful. I'm hovering over a certain button. We'll not have this impertinent. I introduced you to. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to introduce you to products, Trevor. It's my job.
And then your talented wife, in a few minutes clip, not even the whole video, convinced me I have to have this item.
So now you're blaming me and my wife. Okay, go ahead, Trevor. No, you got my full attention. Go ahead.
So then I hop on Walmart's website because I'm part of the replay gang because I normally am not up this early because I have kids.
Okay.
So I go to Walmart and I order one. It's supposed to be here the next day. I'm super excited. I get it. And it doesn't work. So I'm like, all right, maybe it needs to be recharged. Maybe I need to charge it. Maybe it's dead on arrival. Plug it in. Nothing. Messed with this thing for probably an hour before I realized it was dead on arrival. It did not work. And I had to go and order a second one. So now my recovery that I had planned on doing from hard day of training is gone. So now I've got to delay that recovery for a couple of days until I can get a new one.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and reestablish that it's not my fault because I don't do any shipping.
No, I blame Walmart.
Oh, excellent. Yes, there you go. We mad at Walmart. We are mad at Walmart. Exactly. There we go. Everybody, we mad at Walmart. We mad at Walmart.
They didn't even have it. They didn't even have it at my local store. I had to order it.
What?
Yeah.
So Okay, that indicates why it got broken, because they probably shipped it from way across, like 2-3 states away or what. Like, how did they tell you how far away it was being shipped from?
Nope.
Okay. How long did it take to get to you?
The first one was overnight, and then the second one took 2 days.
Okay. All right. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. All right. We can give him that. But there shouldn't have been a second one. There shouldn't have been a second one in the first place. Get it right there. My grandfather used to say, either you take the time to do it right, or you're going to make the time to do it twice. And that's the way I just said it, is pretty much how he always said it, because he was always saying it to me for specific reasons. But anyway, the point is, Walmart, you know what? Hold on a second. Walmart, you need to get your life together. Wash your face and get your life together. Trevor trusted you. He trusted you. Every time somebody makes a purchase on your website, it's an unspoken contract with the consumer. They trust you. He could have gone anywhere else and got the product. It is available on Amazon. He could have gone to Amazon. No, he went to you, and you let Trevor down. Look at his face. He's in pain. He's in pain right now because he had to go through this. We are mad. Hey, we are mad. Everybody, we're mad. I want to I'm not calming down, Casey. I am not calming down. We're mad because the rule is, if one's mad, we're all mad, and we stay mad until the one's not mad anymore. So even after you get over this, Trevor, we're still going to be mad on your behalf for at least another week. All right? We hold grudges. I'm going to go to Walmart, and I'm going to take as many plastic bags as I feel like out of there, all right? Even if I'll buy a pack of gum and take 4 bags. I don't care. I'm crazy like that. I'll do it. All right. Now, that being said, I can't let you, in good conscience, Trevor, I can't let you walk out of here while you're all worked up about this situation. It justifiably so, but I cannot let you walk out of here. That'd be like if I let you drive, drink and drive, because I feel like I'll be responsible for whatever you do to your kids or your dog or your cat. You don't have a dog, you have a cat. I'd be responsible for whatever you do after we got you worked up. So let's let you calm down a little bit. I want you to take a breath. I don't want you to tell me. Let's think positive thoughts. All right. Casey said woosah. All right. No. First, let's go. Hold on. Carlos said, wash your face, Walmart. Yeah. Wash your face. Get your mind right. All right. Now, the consecrated tech. There you go. That's the energy we need. We're mad. Trevor's going to calm down, but we're still mad. Okay. But Trevor, we want you to calm down. All right. So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you a single shot, and I just want you to tell me about your podcast. What's the deal with the Two Disgruntled PMs podcast? Let's just try to just breathe and tell me about it. Okay. Everything's all right.
Well, since we're in the safe space and everything,
Sure.
me and my co-host, we're starting a new show. First episode drops on Monday. It's called Two Disgruntled PMs, where we are 2 PMs who have been doing this for combined over 30 years, and we just are telling you all the stories, all the drama, all the heartache that we encounter on a daily basis as PMs. We're going to have guests on, and here's the twist. The show is the project.
Okay.
So not only are we putting up a show, but we're also 2 project managers running a project of creating a show. So we're 2 idiots creating a podcast from not knowing anything other than an idea. And we're sharing all
very
this.
Inception.
It's kind of surreal when you think about it. Okay. And what we're doing is we're sharing all of our stuff with the community. So as we're building our project plans, all of our PM stuff, we're sharing that with the community to say, here's where we went wrong. Here's what we don't know. Here's where we're learning from people. And we're trying to make this not just for PMs, but for everyone, which is why we'd like to invite you to be one of our guests on our show, John.
Oh, yeah. I'm always down to go and, whenever somebody is dumb and gracious enough to let me come on their show, I am I'm happy. Nah, man, I'm honored to be on there. If you guys think I have, anything of value to share with the audience, I'm happy to do it. So this is the LinkedIn page for Two Disgruntled PMs. I showed you guys, I showed the Instagram page as well. And then you guys have a website. Where's the show going to be hosted?
Right now it's on Spotify.
Okay.
We are working on getting it through the other channels. To add to the Recliner of Rage, I spent probably 3 hours yesterday trying to get it on Apple and still have not made any progress.
Dang, see. Okay. So I thought we got to the point where we're calming down, but now you're telling me that the show's frustrating. Well, it's called Disgruntled PMs. So there's got to be something that's going to make you mad about it. That's got to be there. That's got to be an element of it as well. So what is the release schedule looking like? Is it one a week? Is it one a month?
Well, what we're starting with is one a week. The first episode is on Monday the 14th, and that's our kickoff meeting. In project management, you have a kickoff is starting a project.
Okay.
So that's our kickoff episode. The next 2 weeks are going to be me interviewing Daniel, who's my co-host, and then Daniel interviewing me. So you get to know us.
So that's 3 right there. Okay.
And then week 4 is where we're going to start with topic episode on Monday and then interview on Friday.
Oh, so then it's going to end up with 2 episodes a week. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So Eric says, I have a project management degree. Question, are all these episodes already recorded and ready to go? Like they're in the hopper? Or are you guys going to be kind of like, well, obviously, you guys probably have the episodes where you're interviewing each other done, but do you have are you scheduling currently for people to come on and be guests? I know you just invited me, but I'm saying if somebody's watching, so Eric has a project management degree. So if Eric wanted to come on the show, how far in the future would it be before we could actually hear Eric's episode? Just for example.
We haven't even gotten that far yet. When I say that this has been a new idea, we probably came up with this concept about 3 weeks ago. Fully fleshed out, ready to go. And we go by the 70-30 rule. You're 70% there, so let's go and we'll figure out the other 30 on the way.
You know, man, that actually makes a lot of that is, I think, in a lot of ways, a better approach, because you can try to fine tune and refine something to the point that you never actually put out a product. Like you spend so much time refining it that nothing ever actually happens. So I think that doing it that way, you got most of it done. And then by learning as you go, you're probably going to end up with organically a better product anyway. Because if you try to plan it all out, there'd be stuff you would end up scrapping anyway. Because you're like, oh, well, we were going to do this. And then we realized it didn't work. And so we decided to scrap it. So, yeah. Anderson, hey, Anderson. He said, that sounds like the PMs at my old job. You know what? That's one thing that I can say that when you were telling me about the show, and I read the stuff on LinkedIn about it, you guys said even if you're not a project manager or you're not familiar with it, you still will find something to resonate with this podcast because it'll just be entertaining. And I can definitely say that is it sounds like that's going to be the truth. So one more time before I let you go, when we get to the top of the hour, so we can follow 2 Disgruntled PMs on Instagram. You guys have a YouTube channel, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, how does the YouTube channel play into the podcast? Is it going to be the podcast episodes?
Video.
Okay, so it'll be the
video
version.
We're doing video and audio.
Perfect. Okay, so there's that. And then if somebody's not into the video thing, they want to be able to listen to it in the car, on road trips or whatever, it's on Spotify, and it's just 2 Disgruntled PMs. Is that correct?
Correct.
So so tell me one more time, it launches on Monday.
The trailer is up now, and then the first episode will drop Monday morning on the 14th at, I think it's 5 a.m.
All right, so when you get off of here, email me the link to the trailer, and then I can put that in the show description. That way people can go, because if you listen to the trailer, you'll be able to subscribe to the show, and then you'll get your notification that the new episodes are ready. So that should be everything you need.
It's already on Spotify.
Yeah. Okay. I see it, Kurt. I'll send it to you again. Kurt is right there. All right. So is there anything before I let you go that you want to say to the people who are watching on LinkedIn, but watching on Facebook and watching on YouTube about your show? I'm going to go ahead and let you get get a single shot. And this is your give them elevator speech. Why should they watch your watch or consume your podcast?
Our show is unlike anything you've ever heard in terms of project management shows. We're talking about real world application of this stuff from two people who have lived the life and are prepared for personally embarrassing stories will be told. And the goal is for everyone around us to learn a little bit and also to hear, yeah, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and it was not fun to do that. So we're just trying to bring something new to the world and bring a community of PMs that think like us.
Okay. That sounds good, man. I cannot wait to check it out. And I am honored to have been invited, and I'm eager to go ahead and jump on there with you guys. It's going to be fun, man. Thanks for being on here. Thanks for being a part of Recliner of Rage. Now let's go ahead and I'll let you calm down the same way that I normally calm down. Okay, here we go. Okay, calm down. Take a breath. You don't need no high blood pressure, plus you got a whole show to do. So just calm all the way down. That's better. Okay, so Trevor should be nice and calm now. Trevor, once again, in the live chat, I appreciate you being here. Hope you're nice and calm. And we will see you on the first episode of the Two Disgruntled PMs podcast. You guys make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to that and check it out. All right. But before we get our next guest on, I want to say shout out to the Central Time Zone. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. If you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor, hit that like button and hit subscribe. If you're watching on LinkedIn, do me a favor, go over to the Up Way Too Early for Friday page and follow that page, because I want to start to live stream the show like I'm live streaming it to my personal LinkedIn. I want to start live streaming it to the actual show page, and I need to get at least 150 followers over there. So I need you guys' help to get that page to grow. So do me a favor, go over, if you're on LinkedIn and you're watching this, go over to Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life and follow that page. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Like there's 900 of you watching on YouTube right now. I appreciate you guys being here. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and share the video with someone who you know would enjoy it. My next guest is the Statty Daddy himself, Kurt Stadsvold. He is the Hair Force representative to the program. And but more specifically, the reason he's here is because he's the host of the Kurtlocker YouTube channel and the organizer of the Strongman Throwdown at this year's HomeGymCon. So this competition, in my opinion, is an excellent. I wrote great in the show rundown. That's what I'm looking at over there, by the way. And if you guys are like, what is this dude looking at? I'm looking at the show rundown. It said I wrote great, but I think it is an outstanding opportunity. And in some ways, I think it might be unparalleled because it's pretty unique what Kurt is doing. It's a chance for brands, and it benefits brands because you not only get your name recognized in the home gym community, but it's also, I think, a phenomenal opportunity for novices and up-and-coming strongman competitors to kind of like get some valuable real-world experience with experienced judges and, to get better at the sport. So I'm really excited to hear that the competition has leveled up since last year. And so let's go ahead and bring Kurt on. And here you go, my man.
How's it going?
Man, you know what, man? I am excited. I'm delighted. And, I don't know what else to say. You know what? I tell you what, we're gonna do this for you.
Ooh.
Jonathan, Rory wanted me to play that for you.
Well, Rory should be playing Hail to the Chief. He knows what's up.
Oh, there we go.
But no, I'm super pumped too, man. All the words that end in ed, excited, elated, and I appreciate the intro. The Strongman Throwdown last year was a success. It came with its headaches, but I like kind of the angle that you're going with it. Is my intent with the Strongman Throwdown at HomeGymCon, kind of as a brand, kind of a standalone brand.
Right.
I want to make something that's approachable for novice athletes. So like subdividing the weight classes, for instance, in the novice area is something that will likely be a hard and fast rule going forward in years to come. But also something that attracts the actual like competitive athletes in the sport, because oftentimes with like local shows, you kind of just have whoever was in that area, plus a few, stragglers like myself kind of walking in. With this kind of being a rotational show, that last year being in French Lick, Indiana, this year being over in Louisville, Kentucky, we have the ability to really get the brand out there and get people to come to us. And that's really important. And then the second part that you did a great job. This year, we're presented by Bear Steel Equipment, which we can talk about later. But Bear Steel Equipment, Black Widow Training Gear, JD Gym Equip, Freedom Strength Co., and Weighted Out are all event sponsors of the Strongman Throwdown and what they're able to do and what I'm working with them to do. And to be clear, this is 100% credit to these brands, because like JD Gym Equipped and Black Widow, for actually all of these brands came to me wanting to sponsor and make this show a success so that they could put their best equipment out there. And they've already got good reputations, they've already got good names. They're just trying to use what they have to make everything a lot better.
So first thing is, you did a fairly comprehensive video with some exciting updates already in there. And so I've got, I'm going to link that video in the description for this one on YouTube. Sorry, not on Facebook, because Facebook is weird about links. So sorry for the Facebook audience. But for the sake of people who may not have seen that video, we're going to go over some of the biggest changes from last year to this one. So let's start with something that you already mentioned. You listed all the sponsors, right? I love that Bear Steel is the presenting sponsor. I think their email newsletter, in the email newsletter, Sean called them the hosting sponsor, but whatever. In practical terms, what does that mean that they're doing to make the competition successful?
So Sean with Bear Steel, I still like his deadlift bar. As far as import deadlift bars go, or just deadlift bars in general, Bear Steel Equipment Steel Reaper bar was and still is one of my favorite barbells to use. It's the one that actually stays on the wall, where some other deadlift bars have made their way to where I kind of like do midterm, long-term storage. And then Sean also wanted to introduce the York Strongman bar, which is a knurled axle with rotating collars. And this was an awesome opportunity for him to get in as an event sponsor. So he originally signed on to be an event sponsor. He was sponsoring the Strongman deadlift event, which is 2 deadlift bars and an axle for total repetitions. And he already had some other irons in the fire. He was actually working on, and we can talk about it openly now, but getting Nick Best out to HomeGymCon. And if anybody knows who Nick Best is, he is a famous strongman. He was on some of the more popular TV shows that had to do with strongman and really kind of bringing strongman to the limelight. He does a whole bunch of stuff where he lives out in Vegas, but he's a home gym athlete. And that's what's really cool about it. So he's bringing Nick Best out, and Nick Best will be in between the equipment, sorry, not the equipment, but the Bear Steel booth area. And then that's in close proximity to the competition area, where I'm hoping to get Nick Best out there. As far as what he'll have to do with the actual competition, has yet to be actually shown or talked about, but hoping, hopefully some guest judge opportunities there. If anything, just some photo opportunities. So if you are a strongman athlete, you can get out there, meet Nick Best. And of course, what strongman isn't pro strongman is going to show up to the competition area to meet all the amateur athletes.
Right. So first of all, yeah, I forgot who I told. I think it was Eric. I told him his mission is to ask Nick Best why Strongest Man in History is no longer on TV, because my sons and I watched that show religiously just to watch them go to restaurants and order food, because I thought that was just hilarious, right?
Those were fun parts of the show, especially since it was like him, Eddie, Brian, and was it just him, Eddie, and Brian? I swear there's
hold on, there was 4 of them.
Yeah, I've got to Google this.
It was
I'm gonna feel so bad.
Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw, Nick Best, and there was somebody else. Now I forgot. But I always thought it was funny too that somebody's always hurt. It's like no matter what they went to do, they're like, yeah, well, I'm gonna bow out of this one. I'm just, because I'm hurt from doing whatever.
We forgot Obi, Robert Oberst.
Yeah, Robert Oberst. That's right.
My bad, Robert.
How can we forget him? Strong and pretty. Come on, man.
Absolutely. No, it was entertaining. I'd be curious to kind of get the 2 takes on that as well. I know that TV tends to have like its own not drama. What's the right way to say that? Like we see this all the time with like actors that step out of their lane and say stuff they're not supposed to say. Like it's a business, and they're in the business of making millions of dollars. And so although I felt that ratings were probably high, I might be a little bit biased because I personally enjoyed really watching these guys go around and do some of the coolest feats in history. And I'm from Minnesota originally, and one of those events actually had to do with my heritage. So I come from Norwegian descent, and so that Viking heritage coming out of Minnesota.
That's where they were doing the long ship, right? The Viking.
That's right.
Ship. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I'm telling you, we watched every episode. I think it's it's great when you can have stuff on TV that's visually interesting. And even the thing I think is, even if it's not a good fit for that channel, maybe because it's Strongest Man in History, but I think it would, maybe they could have moved it to Netflix or something like that.
Man, I'll talk a little bit of smack on History Channel. All right, like Pawn Stars is on History Channel. All right, so like with all due respect, that is not history. Strongest Man in History is history. Here's what I pitch that they do. One, you bring on Rob from Vintage Weights PGH. He's the host.
Okay. That's a good start.
He's got the voice. He brings a little bit of normalcy, right? He's a normal sized human being. Plus, I really like Rob. He's a good guy, and he really does get invested in the history side of it. So you make him the host, and then what you do is, you maybe have like 1 or 2 strongmen that are like your regular go-tos, like Nick Best will always be there, maybe, or these 2 athletes will always be there. But then you bring on other athletes maybe that are from that area, and then you redo the show to where it's like, hey, we're going to go to England, so guess who we're going to get? We're going to get Nick Best, we're going to get Rob from Vintage Weights PGH, and then we're going to go with the Stoltman brothers, and they're going to show us what's up over in Scotland. Or we go down to Africa and you get Iron Bibby out there, maybe something a little bit more like that. But the History Channel or Nat Geo or whatever it was,
it was History Channel.
No excuse here. All right. The Pawn Stars is not history. Pawn Stars is hungover TV. So they have no excuse.
I mean, now I get it. Like the whole point of it is like ratings, because ratings is what attracts people, advertisers, and advertisers are what pays the bills,
Exactly.
And it's easy for me to be like, don't worry about that when I don't have to pay your mortgage. So, and your kid needs braces and she's not looking at me to get them paid. So I get it. But I just think it's like I'm actually, let me say that instead of being negative about the History Channel, I'll say that I really like how Netflix is actually doing more shows that would be interesting to like what's that one that it's the golly, what I'm talking about? It's the one where like they do all like the weird, it's a strength sort of CrossFit type of obstacle course event or whatever competition, and it's on Netflix. My wife watches this thing all the time, and she's not here, so I can't ask her. But
I'm not sure.
Well, see now I gotta look the thing up. Netflix competition shows. All right,
we'll rename this part of the show to two guys Googling stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because I want to know.
Is it Physical 100?
That's the one. Yes.
Is it okay?
Yeah, that's really interesting. They've got like there was one where it's like the Atlas competition, and you basically had to hold up the world and see who can hold up the longest, right? Like it's legit. It's a legitimate competition. All right. So it feels like Netflix is a little bit more committed to that kind of stuff than History Channel. So I think it was a case of great idea because of the history aspect, but maybe the wrong platform.
I mean, it could have been.
So that's
it. Could have been. I thought it was right in line with the platform. And by the way, Eric, Minnesota does not suck. You suck.
That's Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Minnesota's kind of overrated. You'll notice I no longer live in Minnesota, and I'm not planning on moving back. So
there you go.
But yeah, the History Channel side, having Nick Best come to the HomeGymCon, the Strongman Throwdown at HomeGymCon is, I'm just blessed. And having Sean on the team as far as that goes, Sean cares. Sean and I, we've worked together in the past. I think I've reviewed quite a bit of bars from him. I like what he's got. I've made purchases from him. I still got like my original, the original mag pins he made that had like a 200-pound pole, or I think it was just 30 pounds, but I still use them. Like they're still solid pieces. So to have him on board as the, title presenting or hosting sponsor, I should probably figure out the wording on that. I think I'm somewhat important to this. But some things that are unique about this year's show versus last year's show is that there was some pressure to go to a 2-day show. So we're going to try this out. We're doing an actual 2-day competition. 2-day competitions will attract some, especially those that we're wanting to attract. We're wanting to attract people that want to come to HomeGymCon, experience HomeGymCon, but be there for the whole thing. Last year being a single day, and John, you know this because you live streamed it, it was just a really long day. There was a couple reasons for that. One of them had to do with weight selection on sandbags. That was 100% on me. And then the other stuff had to do with just low number of volunteers. Huge shout out to my volunteers, because those guys, I mean, even like Tim from Gym Crafter stepped in to help you out. Chris over at Belfit Strength stepped in as well. But we're trying to spread it out over 2 days so that we can have shorter competition days, which allows people to actually get into the convention and actually enjoy what we have there. It's going to turn some people off because some people maybe don't want to come out. But what I'll say is that I believe that right now we're sitting at 33 athletes. Let me scroll down and verify that number. 35. So I'm at 35 athletes. And for context, I did not have 35 athletes at this point in time last year. So I think last year we ended up filling up to 50. We had 50, but that was where I put the cap. But by going to 2 days, I can also raise that cap up to 100 athletes. And then to create some efficiencies on actual comp day, one of the things that all of these event sponsors, again, talking Bear Steel Equipment, Black Widow Training Gear, JD Gym Equip, Freedom Strength Co., and Wait It Out, I ran 2 lanes on everything with an exception for one event. So if you're good at that, I mean, I'm just going to run through events real quick.
Well, before you do that, I do agree with you about the fact that the 2 days is going to work, because it felt like everything was crammed. And it's not just that it was crammed into one day. You couldn't go do anything else. But then you also start spilling over into popular events like the deadlift party started. And, well, you still had competitors. Well, a competitor who was still doing the sandbag. And then he
50 wasn't enough. He just had to do more.
Andrew, and I commend Andrew from Hannah Strength, man. He's judging, but he said, hey, no, I don't want you to have to go by yourself. So he started going with him. While that's motivating and all, I do like the fact that you set it up to be a 2-day thing, because now there's less chance of that. And as you said, people can experience HomeGymCon in the spirit of how we experienced it that first year at French Lick, which I think was very, very special. So that's one. Number two, we gave love to Bear Steel and what they're providing. What I'm not clear on is, I know Black Widow made something for the competition. Is that correct?
Correct. All the other ones are providing equipment.
They're providing equipment. Okay, so I didn't want to leave them out and just like all the love is Bear Steel. I wanted to make sure that we emphasize that this competition wouldn't happen if they weren't making the actual implements for the athletes to use. All right, so let's go ahead and break down the events, because you got 5 events, right?
Correct. 5 events, plus we'll do a mystery tiebreaker. It'll be something cheeky but miserable.
Nice. Okay, that's the best kind. All right, go ahead and break them down.
All right, so event number 1 is going to be the Viking Press, and I'm going to talk about who's actually bringing stuff to make these happen. Again, I want to be clear on this. Last year, I essentially took all of my personal gym equipment with an addition for Freedom Strength Co. and Surplus Strength, and hosted a competition. So that was all of my personal stuff. Like, that was my personal weights. And so what we were limited to was one lane at a time because it was all that I had. So this year, to create those efficiencies and to really help me out as a meet director, help these brands out getting exposure, is so like the Viking Press is sponsored by Black Widow Training Gear and Weighted Out. And the Viking Press is being made. There's 2 of them that are being made by Dean over at Black Widow. I should be able to go get those or have them shipped to me here. And another part of this whole thing is because I have the YouTube platform, I plan on releasing rules and update videos prior to the actual competition so that athletes can watch the videos and they can see before they get to the competition what the rules are going to be. So for instance, with the Viking Press, there's no jerking in the Viking Press. You have to dip and then drive. There's no second knee bend. But yeah, the Viking Press will be 2 lanes at a time. After that is the deadlift ladder, which is sponsored by Bear Steel Equipment and Weighted Out. You're going to see Weighted Out is a very common because Brian over at Weighted Out is providing all the weights, and all those weights will also be for sale, which I'll cover later. So the deadlift ladder is 2 deadlift bars, which you're going to deadlift in sequence. So light bar, medium bar, and then the axle will be the heaviest bar out there, and you'll do it for reps. The specific rules are in there as far as like what equipment is allowed, but that should be a very exciting event. And with it being 2 lanes operating at the same time, potentially up to 3, we'll see if that actually works out as far as space goes. It should create a lot of good efficiencies. And because it's not a max event, it should move quicker. The last event of day 1 will be the Hercules hold. The Hercules hold is a completely custom being done up by Jesse over at JD Gym Equipped. He's doing the handles, and it's the only one where there is only one implement, and that just comes down to price. At the end of the day, the sponsors do have to pay to get things made. An implement like that, just the size of it, the price of it, and also the size of JD's company, we're just doing a single lane. And the weight should be enough on there using the weighted out plates that, I'm aiming for about 20 to 30 seconds per athlete. After that, we'll take a break for the day. We'll come back on day 2. And the first event on day 2 is going to be a Conan's wheel. This is going to be like every other Conan's wheel Viking Press. Those 2 tend to go really well together, and that's because they share equipment. So again, sponsored by Black Widow Training Gear and Weighted Out. The Conan's wheel will have 2 lanes operating simultaneously. That's actually maxing out of our space. Dean is actually custom making the Conan's wheel apparatus to fit within my space constraint, which is massive, by the way. It's nothing like last year. It's significantly better. So huge thanks to Jake there.
That's on my list of questions, because what ended up happening is it's just the way it worked out. All right? And there's no blame or whatever, but it's just the way it worked out. We had so many vendors that the space for the competition got compressed. Now this year, lessons learned, we're in a different place. There's more room. Is this going to be in a separate room by itself, or is it just basically you got a lot more room just blocked off?
So I have a 60 by 90 foot, 60 by 80, I believe is my area, plus the walkway. There's a dedicated 10-foot walkway that goes all the way around the perimeter.
Okay.
Last year, I did try to shove all the athletes into a space that I thought would be big enough for them. I was wrong. Into all the athletes, I'm really sorry. But also, I've also been in smaller spaces before too. So just kind of is what it is. But so Jake is working with us. Jake over at Garage Gym Experiment, the host, the man when it comes to HomeGymCon. He's getting us an athlete down room. It should be completely separated from the convention center, because if you've ever competed, you can kind of get overstimulated. And when we really look at the arousal that you want, not the arousal, but the arousal that you want in athletes, you want it to be peak for performance, not peak because it goes to a 10 and these ones go to 11. But yeah, so the 60 by 80 foot area includes hopefully some area for people as they're watching, and then also people as they're passing by. Also in that area, just a quick plug, I had a couple companies, so Game Day Men's Health and Restore Hyper Wellness, both reach out to me. They are local to Louisville, and they are offering their compression and like massage therapy free of charge to athletes.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
That's huge, man. That's the best. So
phenomenal,
we're either going to have them in the down room or right out there, like kind of behind the stage, if you will. But that's the whole idea with that. So we have enough space this year to be bigger. And and like Jake said, we learn as we go. This will be my second federated competition that I've ever directed. Probably, I think it's my 5th competition I've ever been a part of, as far as from the not competing in it. And you got to learn these things. There's no playbook for this. You just kind of do.
Yeah.
So
I just asked that because you had the you were talking about multiple lanes,
yes,
which will speed the competition up. So
and it also make it more fun, more visually appealing. Nothing like bench pressing a yoke, which
hey, you see that there was a request for it. So add a yoke bench because
he's saying that's just to troll me though.
I don't know. I think the guy talking about your stash benching 200, that might be trolling.
That's authentic. That's
true.
Okay. Boulder's lines. Yeah. Boulder's lines and we go way back. We're the best of friends way back. He was there when my mustache could only bench 135. And he was a big reason that, especially coming out of March, we always celebrate, General Robin Olds, the pilot that led Operation Bolo, where the Marine Corps was too chicken to go into Vietnam.
I'm sure that's exactly what happened. I'm sure that's what happened. Oh no, we don't want to go fight somewhere. Right.
Well, it involved money, so you guys couldn't afford it.
Hey, you know what we do when we can't afford something, right?
Steal it.
There you go.
Strategically transport equipment from an alternative location.
That's right. All right. We still show up somehow.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I actually have a funny story about that. If we have, I promise everybody that's watching, we're gonna get back to the Conan's wheel. So
we have time, but hey, look, the kind of show that most people who watch the show know what they're in for, and those who just got here, you're about to learn. It's tangents. Let's go.
So we I'm deployed with the 2nd Combat Engineer Battalion out of Camp Lejeune. Freaking love those dudes. We called ourselves the Dirty First Platoon. Okay. So I'm the Air Force guy attached to that. So I'm the only guy with clean hands and a beard. Everybody in the Marine Corps has dirty hands and they're somehow clean shaven. And bring in the tangent, John. So here we go. We're all ground guiding our vehicles. We're on we're in undisclosed location. Yeah. Go ahead. So the Marines ground guiding back, right? This young PFC, I don't know, young boot, ground guiding a vehicle back, but he put his gun down behind the MRAP. MRAPs weigh like 20 tons. He's backing this thing up, and you just hear like this crunch, and he's like, he hangs his head low and has the vehicle pull forward again, and he goes and he gets his M4 probably his M16, maybe even his GAU. We'll see. Yeah, and it's
the time period you're talking about is the M16.
Yeah, and he's like trying to curve the bullets. That's what it looks like. He's like trying to do like that corner shot thing back when Future Weapons was a show. And so we noticed that a certain Army company had pulled into the fob.
You can always count on the Army.
So we ran diversion. Now, to be clear, they couldn't make this happen without Air Force EOD because we are the best. And basically, we went and ran diversion on the company leadership and told them about our capabilities and showed them how cool we look. And while that was occurring, they went and found, because where there's Army, there's bound to be an unsecured weapon. Just ask Rory. You just take the upper, and all I'm saying is that the uppers aren't serially controlled, okay? So you take your optic, you throw it on the other guy's upper, you put the bent upper on the Army guy, and that's how you learn to never leave your weapon unsecured.
There you go. Now, in case you're wondering why they didn't take the entire weapon, probably because it would take too long to remove the instructions for how to put the weapon on safe and properly clear it off of the buttstock. You asked me how I know that was on there, because every time I've been behind the Army at the Child Hall, they've got the instructions for how to properly clear their weapon taped to the buttstock of their M16. And I'm like, really? That you need that?
All right, what I will say is that the Marine Corps, we always go on these tangents, John. I love it, especially being an almost veteran myself. The Marine Corps, when it comes to weapon systems, is highly proficient, highly intelligent. Like you guys have conditions, right? Condition numbers, condition 1, 2, 3, 4.
Condition 1, condition 2, 3, yeah.
And condition 3 only applies to one weapon system, the 1911. So which is a super badass thing to still maintain. Like,
that's a pistol in case y'all are wondering.
Yeah. And the The Army has to use colors because colors are easier than numbers. But yeah.
Anyway,
but anyways, back to the Conan's wheel.
But let's go back to HomeGymCon. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we're at HomeGymCon.
Learning as we go. All right, we're back.
Learning as we go. We've made it back from the tangent. So we are coming into day 2, and it's going to be a Conan's wheel. Conan's wheel is traditionally done until an athlete fails. So that means that as a meet director, I'm left with 2 options. I can either make it unbearably heavy so that you can only move it a little bit, which is, I don't know, kind of lame. Like, you want to have success.
I want you to
but you also don't want to be able to
but
go
I don't want
forever.
you to do it 20 times.
Exactly. So like at Ohio Strongest Man this year, I don't remember how long I walked for, but it was a long time. So I am limiting the Conan's wheel. The only weird curveball rule in there is that it's limited to 70 seconds per go. Right. What that's going to do is it's going to give us 2 things. One, it's going to be a clear start and stop for each and every single bout, right? So like these 2 lanes are going. So when you have 2 lanes running, if you have someone that goes for 10 minutes, you're going to start to run that second yoke on another athlete. So by going max distance in a certain time period, I'm able to synchronize everything, make it still visually appealing because let's face it, like Conan's wheel sucks when you're doing it, but these guys are going to keep going. These guys and girls are going to keep going until they can't anymore. So yeah, I am limiting it at 70 seconds. So at 70 seconds, you will receive a down command, and the judge will basically take a mark on where the Conan's wheel was when you got to 70 seconds. But that's only if you make it to 70 seconds, because 70 seconds is a long time.
Yeah. I mean, and then too, it also rewards you for being fast.
Correct. Because the other part is like slow and steady. And with the Conan's wheel, if you're slow and steady, you can usually do pretty good, keeping your hips underneath your shoulders and keeping your feet below your hips so that you're nice and lined up. But if I make you go faster and turn left, so this is going to be NASCAR style, just because I can. But no, it should be great. And then after that, we'll go into the sandbag loading race. And the sandbag loading race is a steeplechase style. So you'll start at the maximum distance away, which again, I don't know that yet because I haven't scaled it yet. As soon as I get sandbags in, I'll be able to actually scale it and give specific distances. But yeah, 3 sandbags for time as fast as possible. And then of course, for any tiebreakers, we'll have a 6th mystery event that will be a tiebreaker. It will be silly as well as strong. So it's up to you guys to maybe try to figure that out beforehand. But last year, for instance, I debated, there was one tie that I had to break, and I thought about having them load up my trailer after the competition to see who actually won. Whoever got the trailer loaded with the most equipment the fastest won. But yeah, we'll try to make it fun and cheeky. But that's the actual whole premise of the competition. Now, as you get into this, so that's on Friday and Saturday. On Thursday, I will be there for weigh-ins all day. Friday morning, you'll be able to weigh in as well. One of the things that, especially this year when I competed at America's Strongest Veteran, is I actually had to do like a 15-pound cut, which for me, that's a lot. I typically don't cut that much when I compete. I just don't like it. I'm a 38-year-old chicken. But I have a company that I will be sending an email blast out to all the athletes with. So if you do a water cut and you want a IV drip to get that weight back, those will be available basically at cost. I'm working with a local company there, and you'll be able to get that done right as you weigh in. So some huge improvements from last year, both in process as well as in like all of the other perks for the athletes. Some other things that I'm working on, I'm trying to get a videographer so that athletes will have someone that's there. Whether I'll be able to afford to pay the videographer to just give all the athletes the photos, I don't know yet. It might be one of those like a la carte, like you can purchase the videos from the videographer that's there. But again, I still got to get them secured and get them locked in. And then the other thing is if people are interested in volunteering, I have a pretty good baseline of volunteers, but especially if anybody's listening from the Louisville area and they want to volunteer for my crew, I treat my crew pretty well. They got worked last year, but I promise you I was right there in the trenches with them working the whole time.
I can verify that.
I will make it worth your while. I cannot pay. Strongman competitions don't make that much money. And really, competitions in general don't make that much money. And I get a lot of, so like I'm looking at an email right now, And this gentleman has reached out, and I appreciate that he's offering his services, but like he's a professional announcer, and I would love to have a professional announcer.
Right.
But what I can tell you is that based on what I currently have raised from ticket sales, the professional announcer would be more than 50% of that ticket sales. And I still have to buy t-shirts. I still have to get all the swag bags put together. I've still got to pay for the rental vehicle, because one of the disadvantages to how I run the show is that I live in Ohio and I have to transport down to Kentucky for this. So I have to move everything. Plus I'm running around getting all the equipment. So waited out, Black Widow training gear and JD gym equipped, as well as Freedom Strength Code. They're providing the equipment, but I have to pay to get it to me or go get it and then make content on it. So use and again, I know that you have your own coupon code. This is your show. So
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. For this, I want them to use your coupon code, because if someone uses your affiliate link, it benefits a very specific charity. And I want you to talk about the charity. So,
yeah, absolutely.
yes.
So coupon code KL10. So if you're going to purchase HomeGymCon tickets, use coupon code KL10. When I get those checks, I basically throw that into, I actually like keep an accounting line because I'm a massive nerd, and I spend all of that money on the throwdown. Now, any of the gross proceeds go into making the contest happen. Now, what happens with all of the extra money? It's a really good question to ask. So there's a charity out there called the EOD Warrior Foundation. EOD is Explosive Ordnance Disposal. I'm retiring in, like, I'm literally like basically done working at this point, because I have too much leave. I've got to burn all my leave right now. But the EOD Warrior Foundation is a charity that basically helps all Forest Service explosive ordnance disposal technicians and their families. I'll give a quick anecdotal story. So in 2019 in February, I had probably one of the worst days of my career. I discovered one of my airmen, one of my NCOs had big A airman. So like, soldier, airman, Marine, whatever, had killed himself. And I found him. And I had his daughter, and I had to keep his daughter at my house for a couple days while we worked out all the next of kin notifications. So you have to keep something in mind. I discovered one of my members and also one of my best friends. Like, I'd known this guy since I got back from Afghanistan at 13 and was really good friends with him. Discovered him dead, have his daughter. I can't tell his daughter that her dad is dead. And the EOD Warrior Foundation stepped up, and this girl had already had a really troubled past. Not going to get into details because that's a private thing, but they stepped up and they paid for all of her private schooling, K through 12. They just came out, flipped the bill. They're like, hey, this is a girl in need. She's linked to the EOD family because her dad was a tech. Boom, we're paying for her school. They helped out with so much stuff, and they have that same effect on so many other technicians and their families. So when guys lose a limb, when they have access issues, when they need a special car modified, or they just, need help, or they just need some sort of outreach, the EOD Warrior Foundation is out there and they're doing a fantastic job. They also, they're down in Florida right next to our EOD Memorial, and they help maintain that actual EOD Memorial. The EOD Memorial has more than 400 names of explosive ordnance disposal technicians, all of which gave their life during performance of their duties. So basically that doesn't mean that every EOD tech gets memorialized on the wall. In order to be memorialized on the wall, you have to have died doing EOD work. And there's that many families that go down every single year in the first week in May, which is National EOD Day, which is something that's coming up. It's a national holiday. It's like a congressionally declared national holiday. So all of the money goes to that. I will not make any money. Like, I will net zero money from doing this. I do this as a passion. Now, when I get in retirement, we'll see. That might change a little bit. But everything's going to the EOD Warrior Foundation because they've had such an amazing impact on both me, members that I've served with, and the families of the people that they've served with. So huge break to them. And if you aren't, so Jared asked the question if they can donate. You absolutely can. There is information on the Iron Podium page, which, John, I can drop that to you. Unless you already got it. But if they go to the Iron Podium page, it is right up there towards the beginning. and they can donate directly to EUD Warrior if you want to. The only thing I ask that you do is if you donate to EUD Warrior, just say it's on behalf of the Throwdown at HomeGymCon. It is an affiliated fundraiser for them. But if you just donate to them by yourselves, they're not going to know that it came from my outreach for this. And again, this is, I think, the third fundraiser I've done for EUD Warrior, and they're just the best. As far as like charities go, there's a fun study out there that shows of how much of every dollar actually goes to the beneficiaries of the charity, because charities got to pay their people too. They have employees. And it is something crazy when you look at some of these more popular, maybe the ones that have, I don't know, Trace Adkins, actually, as their spokesperson, which is great, right? Like that's amazing. Right. But how much of your dollar goes to the people that need the help? The answer is really low. With EUD Warrior, it's almost the full dollar. Like it's a ridiculous amount that goes to the members and the families of those service members. So please check out the Iron Podium page. You can go down and see the EUD Warrior Foundation there. Brings you to their website. You can donate there and just say something about the Strongman Throwdown or mention my name. And
I mean, they'll probably have something that says, "How did you find out about us?" or something like that. And then it'll probably be something like that. We had a couple of other questions.
Send it.
You got one of them already, the one with Jared, but I started the other one. So first of all, have you seen Sandbag Atlas stones?
I have. So strong Sandbag Atlas stones are just sandbags that are circular in nature. So the higher packed that they are, the more Atlas stony that they'll feel. When it comes to Atlas stones, there's only one thing that will really mimic an Atlas stone. That's an Atlas stone. Because even let's take like Mike Bartos' Stone of Steel. Although it's the same shape, the texture is different.
They don't grow in diameter.
Yeah, well, it doesn't grow in diameter. It just grows in weight. It is a 20-inch stone for the Stone of Steel. It might be an 18.
I saw guys at America's Strongest Masters in 2018 struggling with it because they're accustomed to
tacky.
But also they're accustomed to a different circumference. And because it didn't get bigger, it ends up being very dense.
Correct.
So you had people who were like struggling to pick it up, and they're like, I know I should be able to do this. I can do heavier stones all the time, and I can't do this. But go ahead.
Yeah, so the sandbags are going to give you a little bit more grip. Now, will it train your upper back to get that nice grip, to dig your fingers nice and low? It's going to give you those cues, and whatever company that Carp is looking for, I can't remember any off the top of my head that make them. It's one of those things that I have seen in the past, but if it's me spending my money, I would rather have a traditional cylinder. So like Freedom Strength Co.'s sandbag. And I'm not just saying that because they're the sponsor of the Strongman Throwdown. I'm saying that because Freedom Strength Co. is making some of the best sandbags that are out there.
They make the best sandbags in the business.
I mean, there's other ones that are out there, right? There's Cerberus, you got Rogue, but Freedom Strength Co. is doing it, and they're doing it at a really good price. And also he's doing that all on his own. So good sandbags, good customer service.
I go ahead and I'll put JB's stuff up against anybody. In fact, what's funny is he told me about an instance where people gave Cerberus credit. It wasn't Cerberus's fault, but they gave Cerberus credit, but it turned out it was Freedom Strength Co. sandbags. I remember, and heck, it's not going to affect them. They're going anyway. But remember Muscle Pirate? I remember I had to replace Muscle Pirate sandbags because we were doing a competition, and we had to replace them with Freedom Strength Co. ones because the Muscle Pirate ones, even though they were more popular, weren't as durable. So I mean, JB's not paying me anything to say this. I legitimately think that his sandbags are, especially for the size of his company, are probably the best in the business.
Plus, he has a really good array of them. So he has light sandbags. He has the fitness. He's doing successfully, I hope, because I want JB's company to make it.
100%.
But he's doing a really good job of diversifying what he offers. For instance, so like Rogue, for instance, had the patent on the tombstone style sandbag. It was like the Husafel type. Yeah. And JB went out there and sought after a design that was different enough that it didn't infringe on Rogue's patent, and then imported those and socialized them in. And as far as I know, he was the first company to do it in the United States. Now, other companies did have that style sandbag offered before, but even when JB sent me that sandbag to review, which by the way, it was a great sandbag, I even mentioned, I was like, hey, just so you know, this patent is close. Like, do you want me to do this review? Because if someone from Rogue sees this, they might, do the stop letter,
the thing that they do,
the cease and desist. And he said, nope, send it. It's different enough that I'm comfortable with it. And so we did the review, and I still have that sandbag, and I still use it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got JB's. This turned into a commercial for JB, but he deserves it. He's a
sponsor.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got his sandbags downstairs that I use from when he was Home Gym built. So they're very durable, still working great. And then the last one I wanted to make sure that we didn't miss is from Boulder's Lines. Ra, by the way, he says, I know someone who is growing. He said he might do it cheaply, the photography part. So since you know him, you guys can maybe connect and get that taken care of.
Yeah, Boulder's Lines, please do. We go way back, right? So just hit me up on his Instagram DMs. John has my contact info if you know who that is. Get a hold of me. Let me have information. We've been very, very blessed. I need a. Oh my gosh, my TBIs are adding up, and I can't remember her name. What is her name? She did the photos for like the last 2 years at HomeGymCon. I always watch her. It's like Christina.
I think it is Christina, but I do not remember. So yeah, so we're
Christina Ryan. So Christina Ryan, she did the photos the last 2 years, and guys, like, holy smokes, like Christina,
she's very, very good.
She's a lifter, and so she understands what needs to be photographed.
Right.
And I think she's trying to be there as well. So Boulder's Lines, please do reach out. Give me that contact info, because at the minimum, I'm going to just add it to my portfolio as someone that I've made contact with. My goal, though, is to be able to pay Christina and to pay this videographer. And really, I'm trying to make something that's for lifters. I think it's really frustrating because a lot of times, think about this competition. It's a $90 entry fee plus tax. Then you have to get down there and figure out where to stay because it's a 2-day competition. So some of these athletes are probably paying out, upwards of $300-$400 just to be there, just to compete. Right. And although it's an affiliated show that can qualify you for nationals, other than that, like, it's just another competition. So it's very frustrating for an athlete to show up, and then it's like, oh, do you want a massage? It's another $100. Do you want pictures? It's another $100. Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Right. And you kind of a la carte them. Next thing you know, they're paying $1,000 for something that I'm going to try to use our collective buying power to buy down. So yeah,
I mean, tell you what, man. Yeah, go ahead and post it. That's fine. Go ahead and post the company information in the live chat. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. I don't have a problem with it. Go ahead and post it there. If you have a link or something like that, go ahead and post it. And then that way Kurt can that's the easiest way for Kurt to grab it.
Yep.
I appreciate you asking, but it doesn't bother me at all in this situation. Yeah.
And I'm just going to throw it straight into, I have a Microsoft Teams created for the Throwdown for me and all my workers. Whatever you throw in there, I'm literally just going to chuck it right into the Strongman Throwdown so that we can research them.
All right. So do you see it, Kurt? You see the name of it?
One Fish Productions.
Yep. That's the ones. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right. The last thing I wanted to cover with sponsors real quick, I need to plug this because this part's important. Okay. So Wait It Out has their new cast iron 45s that are made in USA. A lot of people might remember they had those kind of fleck pattern steel plates that they were testing out. They're testing out new finishes because of the way that their production is set up. They have the ability to test out different finishes. And that fleck pattern, what was really cool about that is me, Sean, and a few of the other guys were in a group chat, and it came down to talking about what color do we want the plates to be, because that's the level of support that Brian over at Wait It Out is really bringing to the competition. And we had come up with, like, basically the banner, black, red, silver, and gray. Black, red, silver, gray. Yep. Those fleck plates that he teased perfectly embody everything that we were going with. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running plates. I don't know if it'll be those, but there will be plates, and all of the plates that we are using in the competition will be for sale afterwards. And they're going to be for significantly less than they would cost elsewhere. So that's a great opportunity to buy plates. And again, that helps incentivize Brian over at Wait It Out to continue to sponsor these competitions going forward, because bringing the weight is a big lift.
I see what you did there. Actually, so there's a couple of other questions. I only have 2 other questions for you. Well, three questions. First of all, so we're on LinkedIn, and a lot of people who are watching on LinkedIn, I mean, they're brands, right? So the question they may have is, well, is it too late for us to get involved? I would say one answer I can give without even discussing with you is yes, you can donate to the EOD Warrior Foundation in the name of the Strongman Throwdown, and it's a 501c3 organization, so that you'll get the tax write-off for it. So that's one way right there. But could they get involved in other ways, like in terms of anything, contribute to a lift your cash prize or do anything? Is there a way for them to still get involved?
Yep.
And
So
how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so HomeGymCon has already stepped up, and we're doing cash prizes again. This time it's going to be a little bit different. It'll probably just be like first place, maybe second. So HomeGymCon is stepping up $2,500 cash on the line. Last year, I was able to make it to where everybody that got first got their entry fee back plus some money. Everybody that got second got their entry fee back, and everybody that got third got like $50, which is great. Like when you think about it, it's nice because that's like some walk around cash. This year, I'm probably going to restrict it a little bit more to more incentivize like some of the higher end athletes to show up. But in order to get that cash prize even bigger, I do have sponsorship levels. So bronze sponsors, silver sponsors, gold and platinum different sponsors. And these different levels correspond to cash value of either things provided to all the athletes for their swag bags. I'm anticipating up to 100 athletes, or just direct cash. But certain ones are only available and there's certain splits. I don't want to get into it on here because oftentimes these sponsorship levels are up to negotiations because a lot of companies out there, like if A7 stepped up, for instance, and they haven't, but like if they did, which I would love, they should. But if they were to step up and say, hey, we're going to give wrist wraps to all the athletes, like that's a massive cost to them. Yeah. That's not appropriately captured in my sponsorship levels. But I do have some roundabout guides. And if any companies are interested in sponsoring with just cash or swag,
in any way, if you want to sponsor in any way.
And now if you go to the Iron Podium page, little hack here, you can get my personal phone number and my personal email because meet directors got to put themselves out there like that. And I'm not special enough to have two phone numbers. So if you want my phone number, I'm just saying it's there. I do screen it a little bit better these days. So no guarantees you get me, but shoot me a text, shoot me an email. All the contact info is there on the Iron Podium page. And I would love to get more people on there. Yeah. I think they call it doxed, bold as lines. Am I doxing myself? Oh my gosh. All the controversy. I just can't believe it.
Let me point out though that Kurt is on LinkedIn. So you also can look him up on LinkedIn and he potentially might be on there, you know, especially since he's getting ready to do a transition. So
I am on LinkedIn. I'm trying to figure out how to get that free veteran profile.
Okay. You know what? Hold on a second here. Because you said that, I'm just going to
Dude, you want to talk about Recliner of Rage. You want to talk about a death.
I'm about to do it now.
It's the Recliner of Rage. It's the Recliner of Rage. Because he's not happy.
So first of all, I already had LinkedIn, okay? I had LinkedIn Premium, and then I reached out because I found out about this benefit. I said, I'm a veteran. Hey, look, there's my Marine of the Year award right there. And then I got my DD214. So what do I need to do? They said, okay, well, it's not available to you if you already have LinkedIn Premium. So guess who had to cancel his LinkedIn Premium? Mind you, now people were reaching out to me saying that they want to consult with me for different jobs or whatever. But I can't see those requests because I don't have LinkedIn Premium anymore. But I digress. Nevertheless, I had to get rid of my LinkedIn Premium so I could then turn around and apply for this benefit. But you can't have LinkedIn Premium already to get it. And while I'm applying for the benefit, I'm steadily getting civilian LinkedIn, hey, please, baby, come back. You know, we don't want you to go away. Messages saying, hey, why don't you want to try? Give a free trial to LinkedIn Premium. None of which should be necessary because all you had to do is say, oh, wait, you already have it. Let's just go ahead and shift you from this pile to this bucket over here, and it should work out just fine. But no, it's got to be brand new so that they can get their credit from the Department of Defense, Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm quite sure that's what it has to do with.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, they're probably viewing it the same way that
not the easy way. Not the easiest way.
Bold as Lions is right, though. I'm pretty sure that the premium thing is only for a year. It's like a trial thing to basically get you hooked. And
but they owe me a year because they've been getting.
The problem I'm having is that I don't have a DD214 yet because I'm technically still active duty. So I have to send them a redacted ID card, which I have done several times. And every time I do it, it just death loops into this worky thing. And I just get frustrated. I'm just like, whatever, this is fine. I do need to update my LinkedIn profile though, because although I do look like one handsome son of a gun, I don't think anybody that's in the civilian world actually cares about me in uniform, although I do look good.
Hey, anyway, so I've calmed down, but I'm just saying that still always bothers me in the back of my mind. And yes, it is only free for 1 year, but hey, they owe me a year because I've been paying for the junk for over a year already. So give me my 365 days back. Moving on. Next question is something that I didn't think to ask you when I first found out about the Strongman Throwdown, and we talked about it last year, is what does success look like for you as far as this competition goes? If we project, especially because, life is about to change for you now. So we project 5 years into the future. What does success look like for Kurt as Strongman Throwdown organizer?
As a meet director, what I'd love for the Throwdown to turn into, a lot is I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of unknowns. Because this year I'm making a big transition from something that I have known for 20 years, being active duty, to who knows, coming into the civilian world and trying to get a job and trying to figure out what all this stuff means. It's really a big transition. I talk about it a lot with some other fellow transitioning veterans or military folk, and I equate it to I'm on the top of a 100-foot high dive, and everybody else that already jumped off the high dive is looking back at me and they're like, dude, it's totally cool. And I'm still at the top of the high dive, pissed off, angry, and somehow still getting drug into stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just need to take that leap. And once I get down there, it'd be great. But to answer your question, success would be, I want the Strongman Throwdown to be associated with HomeGymCon, but to also be associated with just a kind of a traveling kind of rental show. So Christina Ryan and I talked, she's the photographer that has traditionally gone to HomeGymCon. She talked to me after last year about getting up to Indiana and doing a competition at her gym. And a lot of times what this comes down to is that nobody's willing to step up and be the meet director. Nobody's willing to step up and bring the equipment or get it set up or do the organization. And that's something that, it's a lot of moving parts, but it's very doable. I've done this for a long time, whether it was organizing this or other things. So if I could brand the Throwdown as a competition that you can pay to come out and host a show at your place, I think that would incentivize more higher quality competitions, and then people would look forward to. They would associate the Strongman Throwdown with a high quality show that brings great judges, great opportunities, and great equipment that's safe. That's a big part of it too, because I don't want anybody getting hit in the head with a Hercules hold. Props to JD over at JD Gym Equip for making a safe Hercules hold, which he's doing. But yeah, that's where I'd want that to be. Brian Fleck and I have talked in the past about what it would take at different levels. We've talked just kind of surface on this, but I would love to get that funded so that I can really kind of make that a success. That's probably not going to be my main hustle, obviously, but that would be where success would be for the Strongman Throwdown on a 5-year plan. The other thing I pitch to these companies that are hosting or sponsoring the events, so again, Bear Steel Equipment, Black Widow, JD, Gym Equip, Freedom Strength Co., and Wait It Out, is that these equipment items that they're providing are for retention, but every single year for the next 5 years that they get used, they are a sponsor automatically on those subsequent shows. So if I use the Wait It Out plates from this year at HomeGymCon, next year, guess what? Wait It Out, you're a sponsor again, and this time it didn't cost you, the original buy-in amount. But that's, again, big goals, big dreams, and bad genes, as Bromley likes to say. Trying to make it happen is really tough. But yeah, that would be success for that.
All right. Last question is before you sign off, give me the elevator speech, because there are people here who have never seen your YouTube channel. You got a very unique way that you approach your content. And so I want people to experience it. And well, okay. So I agree 100% with this, both those lines, because
I'm there.
the only reason why I have a rating from the VA now is because I got my knee issues documented before I got out. So 100%. So
I have like 360% conditions,
yeah,
and then a whole bunch of other crap. So,
well,
and it's all my medical records are like that.
Oh heck yeah.
So, I mean, heck yeah, except for the fact that I'm 2 inches shorter. I wake up in pain every single day, which this actually segues into the channel pitch too. So,
there you go. So yeah, well, hey, there we go. Let's not even slow down then. I want you to go ahead, give a pitch, let everybody know about your channel and why they should check it out.
Yeah, so first off, inspiration for the channel. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, but inspiration from the channel 100% came from my wife. She's amazing. And when we got married, she was a vet tech for big and small animals. And when we started having kiddos, she basically took a huge sacrifice and stepped down from doing that and needed something that was hers. And she did an amazing job of creating several brands. She does blogging, she does YouTube. In a lot of ways, she's an inspiration for a lot of what I do, because when I started looking at home gyms, now keep in mind in 2017, when I started making home gym content, I had Coop, and that was basically it. Like there was a couple others maybe, but they're not big enough that I even really recall that they existed. And it was just Brian Allsrew, Alan Thrall, and Coop. And
what year was this?
2017 is when I first made content. It was me. I built an Atlas stone platform, barefoot, using power tools. And it was funny because most of the comments are like, you don't have any PPE on. And I was like, yeah, shut up. Yeah. But so I built it from there, and really it's gone a whole bunch of different directions. I come from an American manufacturing background. My family owns American manufacturing in North Carolina. So I understood their side of the story when it came to why American made tends to come with that higher cost, but it often does come with a higher quality item as well. So I wanted to be American made, veteran owned, or high quality piece of equipment. And that was the goal for years. And I wanted to build an amazing home gym space, be able to tell everybody, inform everybody about my mistakes and my successes. And it just kind of grew from year to year to year, and finally got monetized, I think in 2019 or 2018 or something. Maybe even 2020. I don't remember. But been doing it ever since. I do not make much money. I've actually shared my screen without redaction on my channel. So if you go look at my interview with NoFe247, I promise you I make tens of dollars doing this. So I make content that I want to watch. And the reason I know that is because after I edit a video, I watch my content. I watch the entire thing all the way through, and if it can't keep my interest, I don't do it. I don't publish it. And so it started off as very much Made in USA and Strongman focused, and has segued into more general population. I will say that right now the channel is on a slump. The reason it's on a slump is because I am currently a full-time student, active duty military, and a father and a T-ball coach, which I just picked up this year. I know, massive deal. Autographs will be offered at HomeGymCon for a small price. But the course load pickup to finish out my master's before I retire was really my motivation there. And unfortunately, the channel took a back seat. So that's why those interviews went away temporarily, because I just don't have the bandwidth. I'm waking up at 3:30 in the morning, 3:45 in the morning to come downstairs and study before I go lift, before I go to work, before I come home, and then before I basically coach T-ball and play with my girls and hang out with my super amazing wife. But come and subscribe to the channel, please, and watch some of the content. And if people have, things that they want to get reviewed, they can obviously request those things. The stash does have a batting average, by the way, and it's batting 100. Just ask my wife. And yeah, but so that's YouTube. And I'll be honest. I'll be honest with the audience. I very routinely think about quitting YouTube. YouTube is high stress. It is not easy. It takes time. The big review I did on the flywheel trainers, because I'm also one of the only ones that's doing reviews on pieces of equipment like that. But that 40-minute video took me like more than 400 hours to test, note, film, edit, because that video was like an hour long when I first did it. So these things take time, and then I think I made like $20. So yeah, it's just it's one of those things I think about quitting all the time. I think I niche myself a little bit. I'm not good at playing the algorithm, but you know, there's a lot of inspiration out there. Sean Ryan's a big inspiration for why I continue to do the things I do, and it's because nobody's doing the interviews that I want to listen to. As much as I love listening to Garage Gym Radio and the way that Jake does his interviews, sometimes they get into stuff that I just don't really care about, and I'm really just watching to support Jake. Same thing with like other interviews. Sometimes I'm not as into it, but I watch it to support the creator, and I comment and I like to support the creator.
Okay.
But I wanted stuff that I liked, and that was one of Sean Ryan's big things, is that he wanted to make content that he wanted to watch, and that eventually you grind hard enough, you know, it's either going to make it or not make it, but praying every single day that it makes it.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you, I appreciate your support. And in return for that support, I'm going to do your elevator speech, because you have zero. This elevator got
This was a high rise. This is a high rise.
Elevator
baby.
got stuck between floors, right? Hey, so I want you
pushed the
guys.
stop button.
I want you guys to go ahead and check out the Kurtlocker, because on that channel, you're going to see amazing content that is well done, in depth, about topics that no other YouTube channel does, and is done from the perspective of someone who is just as busy as you are, but who still has time to push himself to achieve his goals in his home gym.
Could have said it better, obviously. I'm also thinking about getting into the swag game. Just curious what people thought about that.
Let's work on the elevator speech. Baby
all right,
let's do that. Hey man, thanks for being here. It is now 8:06. You guys have been welcome, and thank you for getting out way too early with Garage Gym Life. You guys got to check out my guy, the Kurtlocker. It's an amazing interview. He's doing some amazing stuff with the Strongman Throwdown. It goes to support a good cause. Make sure that you guys check out that link on Iron Podium. Kurt, thank you for being here, my man. And
hey, thanks
I'll
for
let
having me.
You just told me all the junk that you got going on, so you definitely probably have to go do something right now. So,
yeah, I'm heading straight into work from here. So
all right,
I'm literally my backpack's out there, and I'm going straight.
Unbutton one more button and head on out. All right, let's go. Oh, we're not ready. We're not ready. See you. I appreciate it, man.
All right, later,
man. All right, so that was my guy, the Kurtlocker. That dude is cool people, right? And I really do appreciate him for all the support that he gives me. And like I said, I think that what he's doing with the Strongman Throwdown is a phenomenal thing. If you are a brand that is a brand owner who's watching this, and you're interested in getting in on the ground floor, this is literally year 2. So if you want to get in on the ground floor of something that goes to support a good cause and allows people to experience a sport that I feel gives them a lot of opportunities, it's probably life-changing in some cases, then you guys go ahead and hit him up. Go to Iron Podium. The link for that is in the description on YouTube, but I'll also provide it to any brand that reaches out to me on LinkedIn that wants to get it. I will provide that link, and then you guys will be able to reach out to Kurt and, you know, see how you can get involved. All right. Yeah, and of course, you know, he is a proud member of the Hair Force. So, you know, why wouldn't you want to support him? See right here. Oh, all right. So anyway, I hope I didn't get demonetized for that. Is that way too, all of a sudden it's way too sexy in here. All right. Now, so let's see here. So far, you guys have been watching, and if you like the kind of content that you see here, once again, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor, go hit the like button and hit subscribe. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, please do me a favor, go over to the Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life page on LinkedIn and follow that page. I'm trying to get that page to 150 followers. I just started growing it, and I need to grow it so that I can go live on the page. You know, going live on my personal profile is great, but it makes more sense to go live on that page. So please do me a favor and go follow that page on LinkedIn. Okay. Now, Next, let's go ahead and let's slide right into the next segment, which is react and respond. So the premise for this is that I show you the stuff that has come across my radar in the past 7 days, 7 to 14 days, and we react to it together. So first item, and I was actually talking to Trevor about this. He said he actually and he brought up a very good point that I'm going to mention during the course of this. But it is Bells of Steel has a swivel shackle now. They are actually out of stock already. So when I looked at, it's funny because when I looked at this last night, the swivel shackle from Bells of Steel, no, maybe it wasn't last night. Maybe it was 2 nights ago. I'm trying to remember because I do a lot of I do the show prep on an ongoing basis. So I don't remember what day I actually put it in there into the show rundown, but when I first looked at it, they obviously had some, and now they're completely sold out apparently. But let's go ahead and let's check out the swivel shackle. So you guys, if you have not seen it, you know at least what I'm talking about. So this is the swivel shackle from Bells of Steel. So this is it right here. Let's go ahead and
meet the swivel shackle, the faster, safer way to attach your cable machine accessories. Its 360-degree swivel prevents annoying line twists, keeping your workouts smooth. It's more streamlined and won't pinch your skin. Setup is simple. Remove the split ring, pop the peg, attach it to your cable, and lock it in place.
Okay, so now I'm cutting off the sound because I don't want to get my video demonetized. But you see, guys, see that the benefit of it is that it's going to limit twisting and binding with your pulleys because the swivel is going to absorb the twisting movement. So it is similar to, I'll go ahead and I'll play it again. It's similar to the attachments that you might see on a punching bag. And on heavy punching bags, you have to, well, you don't have to have a swivel, but it makes it easier because it stops your chain from binding and it reduces some of the friction. So this, I think, is a great thing. Now, Bells of Steel did not invent this. Okay, so anybody who's never seen anything like this and it's phenomenal. They didn't invent this because let's go ahead and I will show you what is. Well, let's go right here. Let's go ahead and share this tab. So this is the swivel shackle on the Bells of Steel website. And you guys can see it a little bit closer right there. So it consists of this. You guys can get a good look at that. Things I don't, and as you guys can see, as I said, it's sold out, right? What I don't know is, and it was $14.99. So the one objection that I know people may have had to it who are familiar with this type of product is the cost, but apparently that didn't matter because they sold out. What I am wondering about is in terms of the specs. I know that it's got a 992-pound weight capacity, and it's stainless steel. What I am curious about is how is that different from the ever-built swivels? So, so let me go ahead and so you can go to Home Depot. You can also go to Lowe's. Trevor said that he got something similar from Amazon. But here we go. So if you have done any kind of like utility construction or anything like that, you've seen swivels before, right? So sometimes they call it a swivel eye, but right there you see like there's different sizes and everything, right? So look at the cost. So this was $3.97. The Bells of Steel product is $14.99. So I will tell you one difference right there, though, is that this product is rated to hold 40 pounds. And as we said, the Bells of Steel product has a 992-pound list or 450 kilogram listed weight capacity. So that's one difference. This has a nickel-plated finish. So as my buddy David Dennis from Gorilla Strength always emphasizes, the quality of steel makes a difference. And there's a difference between something that you're going to use to hold your dog, attached to your dog leash, and something that you might be using for some complex or for significant weight, depending on what sort of cable movement you're doing. Because let's say you're using it for some sort of heavy row or something like that. That's obviously going to demand a lot more weight capacity than this would be able to provide. Okay, so there is that. That I think is and I think that's an important point. So if you have one of these and you want to chime in about the utility of it, and I'd love to hear if you're satisfied with it. And if you order one and it hasn't arrived yet, hey, hit me up on Instagram at Garage Gym Life, and we'll get you on the show, because I really do want to hear from people who have these, to just see what I want to see what the consumer reaction is to these once they have them actually in hand. But I'll tell you, one surefire way to tell if this is a successful product is if other fitness equipment brands start to bring out their own version. You'll know right away, okay, it's a success, because nobody copies bad ideas. So there you go. Now, something else that let's move on to the next topic. So on YouTube, and this is a reason that I love YouTube. Oh, hey, Christian, what's up, man? I hadn't talked to you in a long time. Thank you for being here, man. Thank you for getting up. I know this is a little bit out of your, if I remember, the time is a little bit a challenge for you. So I appreciate you being here. He said, I just ordered one with a weight capacity of 660 pounds. What brand was it that you ordered? Because obviously it wasn't the Bells of Steel, because theirs is a different weight capacity. So was it from a utility company? Because I will say that swivel eyes come in different weight capacities. So if you get one that's used for pulling utility underground cable, it's going to have a higher weight capacity than what we just saw from Home Depot, right? Ever built from Home Depot. So yeah, I'm interested to know if you can tell me the brand that you ordered. I'd appreciate it. Rob, hey, you know what, man? We actually were talking about you not that long ago. Kurt brought you up, said he nominated you to be the host of Strongest Man in History if he can never find a home on a different platform, since History Channel seems to not be interested in it. Although I believe Matt Tattoo Saying from the UK mentioned that Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall are in talks about how to maybe bring it back under their own brand. So Christian said the brand is Nekmektu, and it's for boat sales. Okay, so there you go. That makes sense, because a boat sale is under a whole lot of tension. So yeah, it makes sense that it would have that weight capacity. Okay, so yeah, they are out there. Jared says he got them from Amazon, says he loves them. Says I have those swivel snap shackles on all of my cables. It was an Amazon buy, and I love them. All right, and now Jared is unashamedly a Bells of Steel stan, okay, as the kids say. So for him to say he just went ahead and got from Amazon, I would assume that you got those before Bells brought these out. But, the fact that he did the Amazon thing, it says a lot. Kurt says you're supposed to be headed to work. I'm just messing with you. I'm glad you're still here. He said that type of sailing hardware is very strong and is used on Kratos flywheel products. Love them. Okay, there you go. Rob says that would be a dream come true. We mentioned your melodious voice. You do have a melodious voice. Rob says, I love that show. I followed Strongman for years. That show was History and Strongman, two of my favorite things. I would say that my favorite episode is when they went to Paul Anderson's house and went into his Paul Anderson had a home gym. He actually came up with the concept for Anderson squats in his backyard. So yeah, and they went into, so when they went to Paul Anderson's house, that was like one of my favorite. I've seen every episode, but that was one of my favorite episodes right there. Anyway, so as I was saying, you guys go ahead and keep the comments coming. If you're watching on LinkedIn, I don't believe LinkedIn allows you to make comments on the show, but you can always come check the show out on YouTube. The link is at the Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life show page, which is another reason to go there. So if you want to make comments, you want to join the conversation, go over and you're on LinkedIn, go over to the show page, click that link, join us here on YouTube, and then you can add your voice to the conversation. Yeah. So Rob says the York deep dish used by Paul Anderson is priceless. Yeah. Excuse me. There's so there is a lot of people don't realize about Paul Anderson, who's one of the greatest lifters of all time, Olympic champion, that he was actually an avid cyclist. And there's that picture. If you Google it, one of the pictures of Paul Anderson you'll find is of him. He's cycling and he's like in Chattanooga, Tennessee, standing there with a bicycle. So that's I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like this big dude with this bike, with this bicycle there, old school bicycle. I think that's really interesting. All right. Anyway, so something that I really love about YouTube as a platform is how nothing ever really goes away. So this next item is related to a comment that I got on this video that I posted some time ago. I posted this video December 5th, 2023, right? Where I basically, and you guys can see me there using my Garage Gorilla knurled axle bar. Didn't even have a name at the time, okay? But I was saying that if you want to, a nice time-saving tip is to just use 100-pound plates, right? And so I got a comment on the video, which I'll go ahead and I'll pull up now. And this is from 6 months ago. He said, Bull 20 said, where's the barbell from? It's sick. Those are 100-pound plates, right? So I answered him. I said, again, 6 months ago, the bar didn't have a name. So I said, well, that's a 45-pound knurled axle bar from Gorilla Strength. And I got the 100-pound plates used at Play It Again Sports. So then another person, I'm not sure if it's the same guy, Sun6262, 2 days ago said, thanks. And he called me the GOAT. I appreciate that. And actually, I forgot to heart his comment. Heart there. So then I gave him the link. I said, hey, I want you to buy the bar if you're interested. So there you go. And then he said, do you have to go in store to get those plates? So he obviously didn't see that I got them used at Play It Again Sports. So a little backstory. I got these plates as a gift from one of my local Play It Again Sports franchises because I've done several videos highlighting Play It Again Sports, and I did it at no charge. I just wanted, I thought it was an interesting topic. And so I went out there for free and I just did videos on them. And one of the guys said he actually was making sales like the next day, the day after the video posted. He said somebody drove up and they're like, yeah, I found out about your store from Garage Gym Life. So I thought that was really cool. But anyway, so the guy just tells me, he said, hey, man, I know that you're interested in 100-pound plates. He said, would you like these? As you guys can see, they're mismatched. They weren't able to sell them. And so I think that probably played a role too. They were just taking up room in store. But the point is, I got those plates for free. Well, that's not going to help Sun6262. So let's go ahead and stop sharing. You guys are, if you're not tired of watching me bench press 245, I am. So where the question is, where would you guys go if you wanted to buy 100-pound plates? My recommendation is to go to York Barbell. Okay. And if you're watching, if this is your first time watching, you watch it on LinkedIn, that's one of the things that I really love about this show is that I get to organically recommend brands as solutions to people in real time. And I'm recommending York Barbell. They're not paying me a dime, although I am taking money if they want to offer. But I just think that it's a good solution. So anyway, my recommendation is York Barbell. And I can tell you right here, let me go ahead and I will show you York Barbell as the solution for this. But I want to hear from you guys what your recommendation is if someone is looking for 100-pound plates. There's 1,310 people watching on YouTube right now, more watching on LinkedIn, and they want to know what you guys think. So right now, this is my recommendation. Let's get rid of that. So you go to yorkbarbell.com. If anyone's interested, I will post the link in the live chat. So you can go there, you go to plates, and then you just have to choose 100 pounds as the option. You have multiple options. You got your standard options, 2.5 up to 45 pounds, but we're talking about 100-pound plates. Now, this is 100-pound plates. So obviously, the next question is, I don't know if it's sold as a pair. You would assume that they are, but it doesn't say it. So I'm not sure if that is the cost of one plate or not. So just in case it is for the cost of just one plate, you got to make sure that you double that. So that's 164.29 times 2. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, we were talking about this company earlier because they are a sponsor for the Strongman Throwdown. You can also go through Bear Steel Equipment and go to Bear Steel Equipment. And so we'll share this tab instead. And they happen to be a distributor for York Olympic plates. So you go to York Olympic plates there, and you see they got the York Legacy Olympic plates, which are the same as the ones that I just showed you from York Barbell itself. They've got the York Deep Dish Olympic plates, York Cast Iron, and then the York Trainer Bumper plates. So if you want to get 100-pound plates, though, let's go apples to apples. What happens if you get them from Bear Steel Equipment instead of from York Barbell directly? So Bear Steel does the favor of telling us that it is a pair. And so if you are getting a 100-pound plate set right there, that's going to be $649.95 for a pair of 100-pound plates. Now, if you want to just get, I'm not sure if you have the option for getting just a single plate, but they ship within, they are sold, okay, so right there, it says they are sold individually or in pairs. So if I wanted to just get 100-pound plate, maybe I just wanted to try to match the sizes because those two plates, they're actually mismatched sizes. So I couldn't, like, for example, it's tough for me to do a regular deadlift with them. I can use a trap bar deadlift, but not a deadlift where the plates are on the floor because they're not the same diameter. So that would be the main reason I would want to get these. But in any case, these plates, they ship within 3 to 5 business days. And a main reason for going through Bear Steel Equipment is you're giving back to a company that has proven that they are invested in the home gym community. And it's the exact same plate. Now, what I don't know, because I didn't check before, is whether you can get 100-pound plates in the deep dish version. And the answer to that is no. So you can only get, now let's look at cast iron. Let's see if you can get 100-pound plates in that. And the answer to that is no. All right. So yeah. So the only way you can get 100-pound plates from either York Barbell or from Bear Steel Equipment is if you get the York Legacy Olympic plates. But that's where I would send people. Where would you guys suggest if you were looking for 100-pound plates? And there are a lot of reasons for 100 if you want 100-pound plates. And you don't have to be like super, super strong, but they are a time saver because, again, if you put a 100-pound plate on either side of a 45-pound bar, you're automatically at 245. So that takes less time to load than having to load 2 45-pound plates on each side and then load 10s, right? That's just fewer plates to move. So Carp said he definitely supports Rob from Vintage Weights being on the History Channel. Heck yeah. I mean, it just like I say the proof of concept is if you just look at his YouTube channel, that's proof of concept right there. That he obviously knows what he's talking about. Let's see here. Okay. Rob says the Bells of Steel clip was used in the HomeGymCon grip comp last year. It won't be used again though because you're allowed in grip competitions to turn against the clip, and people lifted a little less freely with the freely rotating clip. I can see that. You know, that'd be like, I mean, ultimately you might end up lifting more, but it's the sort of thing where you are. I'm of two minds with this. In powerlifting, I don't like it when someone is made to lift in circumstances that they could not possibly have prepared for. I'll tell you a story. All right, story time with Grandpa. A few years ago, I did a live stream for a world, an international level competition. It was a world championships, and they unveiled a deadlift bar from, well, I'll just say the name of the company. They unveiled Kabuki deadlift bars. That was the first time that the Kabuki deadlift bar had ever been seen because that was the first time they'd ever shown anyone. And they said, I interviewed Kyle from Kabuki, and he said, these are the only 2 deadlift bars from our company in existence. There's one right there. There's one on that platform. There's one right here on this platform. I said, okay. So I asked him to describe the characteristics of the bar, you know, and he's like, yeah, he said it's got some good whip to it and all that. So, all right. But he said it's really unlike any other bar on the market. So immediately I'm like, well, some of these people have been training for like 6 months on a bar that's not like the bar that they're going to be assessed and judged on. Records are on the line. People's sponsorships potentially could be on the line. And you're telling me the first time that they'll ever get to use this bar is now? You didn't even make 4 so there could be 2 in the warm-up room so they could practice? I don't like that. Okay. In the sport of strongman, though, I still kind of like the old school European model where you'd show up and you may not even know what the events were until you showed up at the competition. And you're like, well, how? And I heard somebody say that an athlete from America said, well, how do you possibly do that how can you compete when you don't know what you're going to be doing? And the answer from the promoter was, well, first you have to be strong. The stronger you are, the more you can handle the unexpected. I'm like, okay. So in the sport of strongman, I feel like that. So with grip, because grip is a lot more technical than people think, I lean more towards the powerlifting side of things. But then again, I'm like, think about things like King Kong, where you're lifting up random stuff, you know, and it's not standardized in any way. You just kind of like, hey, can I lift it or not? So, I don't know. But I'm not competing, so it depends. The athletes who compete don't like it, you got to go with what they say. Rory Ellis says, I see 100-pound plates on Marketplace quite often. I got a pair of the 100-pound iron grips from there. Now, Iron Grip is a legit brand. The only thing that I don't like about the 100-pound plates that I got downstairs, and hey, I can't complain because they were free, as I said, is that they're not the same diameter. That limits how I can use them, I guess. Like right now, I'm using them to hold down my bells of steel cable stack, so I don't have to bolt it to the floor. But I think, but I also lift with them, you know. And like I said, if I deadlift with them, I use them with my trap bar. My bells are steel open trap bar. If I do anything else with them, it's going to be something where they're not touching the ground. So maybe I use them for squats. You guys saw the video of me bench pressing with them. So I might do that. But that's pretty much it. Hey, you're welcome, man, Rob. I really agree. I mean, I think you'd be good at it. So there you go. Anyway, so Rory's recommendation is just look on Facebook Marketplace and be patient. Do you guys know anywhere where you can get 100-pound plates brand new besides York and besides Bear Steel? Because I don't know of anywhere where I don't know of anywhere where you can get besides those two places where you can get them brand new. So go ahead and post that in the chat because I want to know. And by the way, if you'd like to support the channel, if you're watching on YouTube and you like to support our channel, heck, if you're watching anywhere and you want to support the channel, go ahead and click that shopping button that you see at the bottom. Is popping up right now. And over, as I mentioned, products during the show, if they are available through the YouTube shopping button, you can go there and you can just click that button, and it'll support the show if you decide to shop from there. Okay, so there's that. So yeah, trying to see what else we got here. Because now I'm curious. I want to see if so yeah. So apparently, you can get, if you're not interested in 100-pound plates, you just want to get your plates, you can get them. You can get a set of them from Walmart, apparently, by clicking that YouTube shopping button. But specifically, we're talking about 100-pound plates. And yeah, only two places I know of are to go to Bear Steel Equipment or to York Barbell directly. And I'm not getting paid to tell you guys to go to either place. Final thing for React Respond is I saw this. It was a just kind of a thing that came across my radar. It's what's the best way to keep leaves out of your garage gym? Now, I have theories about this, and I told Jared that this is something that I was working on, because once I saw it, like, you have like the knee-jerk reaction. Then I was like, actually, let's think about this a little bit. So first of all, the first thing people say, oh, I'll just use a leaf blower. Okay, well, let me tell you some of the parameters. We're looking for a solution that's not noisy. My wife works from home, and her office is on the other side of the wall from our garage gym. So while we do have noise canceling, noise limiting, there's no such thing as noise canceling when it's a gym. We do have some of that stuff installed in her office. It doesn't block out all the noise. So we definitely can't go, I'm not about to be using a leaf blower while she's on like a conference call or something like that. So we're looking for a silent solution. Hey, Ashley the Amazing has arrived. Rogue says, she said Rogue sells 50-kilogram plates. They're 110 pounds. Said Dustin, shout out to Dustin, has a set here and he uses them. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's right there. That's even better than 100 pounds from my perspective. But yeah, so that's another option I was not aware of. I don't spend nearly as much time as I used to on the Rogue site. So anytime I need something, I don't think about Rogue, and I really should, because I used to be on there all the time. I don't have any objections to Rogue for any reason. So yeah, I need to start thinking about them as a possible source. I appreciate that, Ashley. I watched your video, by the way, your review of the bullet pulley. I watched that last night while I was walking on a treadmill. So I think you did a good job. And I'm not sure if I put that comment there, but now when the show's over, I'm going to make sure I go away. I'm going to go there and make sure that I commented. And if I didn't, I will put a comment. If I didn't, my bad. So anyway, so the option that I'm going for, yeah. See, I was trying to not spoil it. because I want people to go watch the video. Ashley did a very good job. She's very fair with the bullet pulley. You guys need to go to Ashley, the amazing YouTube channel, and check out her review of the bullet pulley. It's, I think, one of the better reviews of the product, completely unbiased. She tells the pros and the cons. So yeah, you guys can go ahead and check that out. So right now, the solution that I have at my fingertips is garage door screen. The advantage of a garage door screen is it works. And while it doesn't take a whole ton of time to install, at least mine doesn't, takes maybe, since I've been doing it, from folded up to hanging and ready to go, maybe a minute, 30 seconds. But it's still a hassle to it actually takes more time to take it down and put it away than it does to set it up. And that's the reason why I don't use it more often, because I don't want to leave it up because I'm afraid that it'll get torn, because this is actually my second garage door screen. The first one got torn and it became unusable. But the advantage of a garage door screen is not only does it keep the leaves out, it also cools the garage off during the summertime without having to do anything extra. And of course, it also keeps the bugs out, which is why I got it. I'm just going to tell you from personal experience, there's nothing cool about doing a squat. You go to get your air and a bug decides to take up residence in your mouth. Ain't nothing cool about that. Now, there's something called an air curtain. And that's basically where you, first of all, it's expensive, but you buy a device that creates, like when you go to some restaurants and they're open, like they have they're open to the outdoors, but then you walk in there and there's like a air hits you, like when you're walking through across the threshold. And then once you get inside, you're like, oh, it's there's a dramatic temperature difference. That's an air curtain. It keeps dust out, keeps bugs out, and it keeps the climate, helps you keep the climate inside cooler or whatever temperature you want than the climate outdoors, right? But again, that's expensive. So what I'm at right now is garage door seal. So you got the garage door seals, and the one that I saw, it's a garage door threshold seal. And let me see if I can find one. I don't want to show you from there, but let's we just go images. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's share screen right now so you guys will see what I'm talking about. This is one solution right here, right? So that's a 3/4 inch thick. From what I've seen, the best solution is one that is about 2 inches high. Okay. So this is 1 1/4. This is 1 1/4 right here. You want one that, from what I can tell, you want one that's about 1.5 to 2 inches high. You see the cost right there, $186, depending on, the length. It comes with adhesive. Thing about those though is they're designed for like people who have to drive, who still want to drive in and out of their garage, right? So here comes Roy with it. You can always count on the Army to not get the point. Yes, I realize that the garage door itself is a great seal, but I enjoy opening the garage door primarily so my daughter doesn't get kidnapped while she's playing in the cul-de-sac if I'm in the gym working out. Okay, so I want to be able to see her while she's playing. And so the door's got to be open. So then it's like, so what do you do? So bold as lion said the car cooler fans to create your own air curtain. What I am wondering about with that is, what is the noise like? Because again, the solution has to be quiet. And it's not just for me. It's, whoever's got a garage and they want to open the garage door for whatever reason, Rory. And they want to keep the leaves out, right? So I showed you guys the threshold seal. My other concern about that is in the fall, when it's not as even though it's not as cold yet, the wind starts to get really brisk, right? And so you can get the leaves swirling up. So my concern about even a 2-inch high threshold is that it may not be tall enough. You know what I mean? So let me pull this up again. So this is you guys can see right there. See the video. You guys can tell, what 2 inches looks like, but I'm saying, like, in that person's hand, that doesn't really look that high. You know what I'm saying? I don't need any help with that. So granted, again, this is the 1 1/4. So is this a residential threshold seal? Let's go. Okay, so if we look at so this is a 1 1/2. 1 1/2 still doesn't really look that high, Let's look at do they have anything higher than that? That's 1 1/2. All right, yeah, so they got a 2-inch high. That's the one that I would think. And that one looks like it might do the job. And we don't park in our garage, so I don't particularly care because the only negative reviews I've seen have been people who said that they've driven over it and then it moved, it broke the adhesive. The other advantage is it keeps rain out. So if you got the garage door open and it starts raining, you don't have to worry as much about water getting into your garage. So that, to me, that's 1 point in its favor. Now something outside the box I thought of. Let's go back to ye old. You know what? Let's go to Lowe's because I keep on showing Home Depot all kinds of love, right? Let's go to Lowe's, and all right. So landscape edging. I thought about landscape edging. Let me see if we can find something yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and share this on screen because I'm thinking you get it. Now I might have to cut it down depending on the width of the garage. But I don't see, it's like, I don't want to dig. You know what I mean? That's the only problem. So let's go landscape edging. Let's try, what's this? What about this one over here? Yeah, let's try this one. So this one looks a little bit more promising, right? So this is 5 inches tall, right? That one seems like it might do a better job. I don't care about all the rest of this stuff, is irrelevant. Because I'm thinking like you take it and then you stretch it across the garage door opening, and then figure out some way to kind of like keep it from flopping over, and that might do the job. I've also seen suggestions for like just use a 2x6, but the disadvantage of that is you don't get the benefit of the flood control barrier like you do with the garage door flood barrier. Okay, so those are, I don't know, those are the solutions that I've kind of like come up with. Want to hear from you guys, not you, Rory, okay, because you've already been disqualified with your garage doors are the best and quietest solution. You go back there in your dang luxurious, extravagantly sized building, spare building that you got on your property, and you don't worry about what we're doing in our garages, all right? But if you guys have let me know what you guys may have come up with as far as some potential solutions for the problem that we're talking about. Okay, and let's because if you think of something that I didn't think of, then I definitely want to hear about it, because I'm gonna try one of these. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try one of these. I might try multiple solutions. I don't know which one's gonna work, but we're gonna try something. We just, it wouldn't be, and if none of them work, it wouldn't be the first time that something that I tried crashed and burned here in the home gym. Okay, so have no fear, that won't dissuade me at all. Yeah, okay, I got you, Jared. There we go. So that's it. I want to make sure that I give a shout out to everybody, by the way, who has ordered a Garage Gorilla bar. I truly love that bar. I think you guys just saw the clip of me using it back in December 2023. I love the bar because I think it produces a unique training effect that I believe is superior to other bars in the market. If you guys would like to push the boundaries of your strength without crushing your joints, you can grab a Garage Gorilla bar from the link that is in the show description. It is a 45-pound knurled axle with powerlifting markings. The total length is 80 inches, and it is rated for an 1,800-pound working load. It does require axle bar collars, and I would say the knurling is medium aggressive. I don't think it's very aggressive, but it's enough to let you know it's there. In a nutshell, what I tell people is the extra surface area of the bar in the palm gives you a greater connection to it, and it also lets you articulate your hands in a way that's more comfortable on your shoulders and all your joints. So again, if you guys would like to check it out, just click the link that is in the video description here on YouTube, and you can go ahead and grab one for yourself. And be warned now, these are, and Carp can attest to this, these are actually harder to use than a regular barbell because the sleeves don't spin. So it's going to give you an awesome training effect. Lead time is 2 weeks or less. And so you guys, that's a tangible way that you can support the show if you are so inclined. All right. Something I wanted to say while we get ready, while Jared gets ready. And I think it's I usually talk about I usually talk about how I don't like things that I'm always like, I feel like a lot of times I'm anti new products. I'm anti this, I'm anti that. But Rory posted this thing, and I'm going to go ahead and give you, just to show you the love that I show Rory, right? When he tags me and stuff, right? I see, I see Roman's strength, and I always know he is something related to his very excellent brand, right? So there, go pull that up. So Rory tagged me in this the other day, and yesterday actually, and it is, that's not his most complicated setup. Let's see, he's got, I promise you, he's got some more complicated setups that he's done. Where's the one that was my old favorite? Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah. But that's not too complicated. No, you had one that was like, yeah, there we go. This is it. You guys got to see this, right? We got this. So there, and attach that. I hope you get nothing but leaves inside that building, by the way. I just want to go ahead and spread some random hate. I hope you get so many leaves this fall in there that it drives you nuts just for your snarky comments about my attempt to find solutions for the people that people can use. All right. I hope that you're buried, that your flip-flops are buried, and that you're ankle deep in leaves, Rory. That'll show you. Anyway, So Rory had that, but no matter what, I will never make fun of Rory for having having complicated setups like that, because as I told Jonathan, people who live in glass houses cannot throw stones, right? So this is back when I didn't have my cable stack. Look at this dude, man. Just look at this dude. So look at what I was doing. And this is like the least I mean, it got the job done. But look at this. What I set up just to do an overhead extension. Okay? That's that. And the reason why I had it like that is because I couldn't find some good enough attachment points. And I spent half the day, instead of just doing some overhead extensions with a dumbbell or a bar, I was determined that I was going to figure out how to do it with a cable. So I walked all over the place looking for, in my home gym, looking for stuff to attach to. I tried all kinds of stuff until I finally found something that worked. And I was so proud. I was so proud of myself. But in retrospect, there were a lot simpler ways to achieve what I was trying to do. So there's that. Anyway. Yeah, leaves for days. That's right. He can go jump. The kids can play in it. And, and then Rory can bust out his leaf blower and his door to get the leaves out. Yeah, there you go. I'm not talking about is those flip-flops. Remember, I'm a supporter, Remember the grass flip-flops that, I supported them with that. Anyway, it is 8:56, so I want to give a shout out to the West Coast. Thank you guys for those of you who have been here. We've had some of you on since 3 o'clock since 3 o'clock in the morning, your time. With 6 a.m. our time. But regardless of if you've been watching the show or if you just jumped on, thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. This show is unlike any other, and you are in for a treat. We not only talk about important issues for the home gym community, but we also do it in a lighthearted way, and we have a good time doing it. We're building a really cool community here. And I'm really, really excited to have you join it. So if this is your first time, do me a favor, hit the like button on YouTube and hit subscribe. And if you are one of the people who just discovered the show through LinkedIn, please do me a favor, go over to the Up Way Too Early Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life show page and go ahead and follow that page there. And that way we can go ahead and try to start growing the page, because that's what we want to do. I think it's I think the page is let me just go ahead and pull it up right here. So this is the page. I will go ahead, for those of you who are watching anywhere else, I'm gonna put the link to that page here in the chat so you guys can go check it out. So go and follow that page. If you are watching on replay, shout out to the replay gang. You watch it on replay. I will post it in the comments. It will be the first comment if you are watching on replay. Okay. So you guys can go there and check it out. And if you're just curious, you want to see what it looks like, I will go ahead and show you what the page looks like right now. This is it right here. All right, Up Way Too Early Garage Gym Life. So this is what the Jake and 42 other connections follow the page. Go ahead, be like Jake and join the page. Like I said, we want to get that. We need to get this number up to 150 follows, and if we could do that today, that would be awesome, because then that would mean that next week I could live stream this show directly to its own actual page, which makes a lot more sense to me than where I am live streaming it right now. All right. So, all right, it is 8:59, and it is just about time for our final segment of the show. So, this segment is called You Pick the Topic. Let me take a drink out of my Best Gym in Town mug. Drinking some aminos. This is the current design. Not sure if we're going to stick with this design, but it says, I own the best gym in town. Okay. I like the cork bottom. Not sure if we're going to stick with this, but I like it. For those of you who are always asking me about show merch, that's a potential one. But anyway, so it's time for our final segment, and this segment is called You Pick the Topic. So the genesis of this is that a couple weeks ago, I was ready. I didn't really want to end the show. So just on the spur of the moment, I said, hey, you guys, do you have anything that you want to talk about before we go? I didn't really anticipate getting any topics. I was like, well, let's just, I was pretty much, I expected people to be like, there'd be crickets and then we'd be done. But instead, we got a really cool one. We talked about the dialed motion bench attachment, right? The leg extension, leg curl attachment from dial motion. So I say, hey, I got to recognize when I'm on to something. And that was the genesis of this segment. So in this segment, it's pretty much just what it sounds like. You who are the audience members pick the topic. And it could be either a case of you saying, hey, I want to talk about something that you mentioned earlier, or it can be you guys bringing up a completely new topic. And one other thing is, you can also, if you're brave enough, come on the show with a topic, right? So this week, we've got Jared Martin, who was in the live chat, and now he is in his nightclub home gym. And Jared has a topic. So before we bring him on, I see a comment about this. So here we go. So Boulder's Line says, tech in the gym that makes life easier. For example, if you added a tech device to your gym, which one would you choose to make life better? I mean, I've got tech stuff already. So we've got a digital clock. I consider that tech because now I don't have to worry about a couple days a week. I work out before work. So I don't have to keep on, I don't wear a watch anymore. And I don't have to keep on pulling my phone out to see how much time I have left. I can set a countdown timer, and I know when the timer goes off, it's time to get out of the gym. That's an easy way to use it. We also have a piece of tech in there that is one of those mirror products. My wife loves it, and everybody who sees it loves it. We have a review that's all ready to go. We're just waiting for the go-ahead from the company. Those of you guys who are channel members, paid channel members, you've already seen that because we had it up and available for you. But that's just two pieces of tech that just off the top, we got a television in there. And that's actually, so Ashley, I told you that's what I watched your review. That's what I watched the review on while I was on the treadmill. I watched it on the TV that I have in my home gym. So those are just the things that jump off that are top of mind to me. But that's a good call. All right, Jared, you ready? All right. So everybody, we are bringing Jared to the stage. Let's go ahead. Show our love. Final guest of the day. Hi, Jared. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well, thanks. How are you?
Now, I was doing great, but I see that you ignored our previous discussion about not having bigger arms than me when you come on my show. So we're off on the wrong foot already. I don't like that. I don't approve of that at all.
Could be an optical illusion.
Oh, okay. And then he had the nerve to sit like Conan when he was on his throne at the end of Conan the Barbarian. As my daughter says, The audacity. She's right over there enjoying spring break. All right. So let's not bury the lead. Jared, you so Boulder's Lion says taking the extra few minutes of makeup helped, but he needs to turn his hearing aid up. So I guess he wants you to talk louder.
Okay. I'll try.
All right. So Carlos said Bluetooth speaker must have. But I think he's talking about tech for the gym. All right. We see that some of the tech that Jared has in his gym are the disco lights. All right. I didn't call them Christmas lights. I didn't call them that. All right. But he's got the club going. Okay. Every time I look at your gym, man, I'm always like, this dude looks like he's in a nightclub. This is like, you know, I'm assuming you have, when on the other 4 days a week when you're not watching the show while lifting, I assume you got music going and you just like having a good time in there. On Wednesdays, is it Tuesdays or Wednesdays that Jake has his show? Because I know you watch that. It's Tuesdays. Okay, so the Tuesdays and Fridays, I know you're checking out the stuff, but then the rest of the time, I just in my head, you got like, you know, you got in between sets, you got the sparklers, you know, like the little wand and everything, and then it seems like it's a good time.
Never know.
Yeah, hey, there you go. All right, but anyway, so first of all, shout out to you. Jared's been a channel member for 17 months. He's helping us reach our goals, and he reached out to me to tell me that Jared said that he recently discovered something interesting about how Rep Fitness discloses the gauges of steel that are used in their adjustable benches. So, all right, Jared, talk to me, and I'm ready. You said to have the Nighthawk ready to pull up, so I'm ready with that. So talk to me. I'm gonna give you the big screen. What's up with Rep Fitness benches? They say they're 11 gauge steel. Is this accurate or not?
Okay, so this sparked from looking at the description of the new Nighthawk bench, which looks awesome. They call out 14 and 7 gauge steel, if I'm not mistaken. And oh, that's cool. And then, you know, I pull up, I have the 5200 that I'm sitting on right here. It only calls out 11 gauge steel. I go, well, that is better than 14, but why does that one get some 7 and mine doesn't call out anything about 7 gauge steel?
Okay.
However, my eyes do work, and I know these rails are not 11 gauge steel. How I know that is I can kind of peek into the uprights on my Bells of Steel Hydro Rack, which is 11 gauge. It's roughly 1/8 of an inch thick or so. These rails are at least 1/4 inch thick. So I reach out to Rep's customer service. You can text them, which is really nice. And I said, I noticed in line, new Nighthawk bench calls out 7 and 14. I have the 5200. It only calls out 11.
And actually, let me go ahead and let me pull it. So let me go ahead and pull up the. I'm gonna pull up the 5200, and we'll pull up the Nighthawk if it makes sense during the conversation. So this is, it looks like Adam actually. Laying crossbody across the AB 5200 2.0. I've got the 5200 1.0. All right, but go ahead.
So yeah, on either one, the same format of the website. You scroll down to the details, and it calls out 11 gauge steel. And you know, it kind of confused me that they have 7 on the Nighthawk when I know this is the bigger, heavier, beefier bench with a greater weight capacity. So I was just kind of curious, and I asked that, and come to find out. And the reply I got. So I checked with our engineering team to be sure here. We only detailed the frame steel gauge on our benches. So, you know, the frame. You all know what a frame is on this.
All right, hang on. Let me stop the screen share right there, and that way I can. No, I want to make this bigger because you're about to show something.
Let's tilt you down a little bit. All right. So what they do is they're only detailing the frame, the tubing here, which appears to be about 2 by 3, and that rear post presumably is 11 gauge also, which is very sturdy. However, my eyes do work, and these rails are much thicker than that to hold all the weight capacity. This part too. I don't know if you consider that the rail or just part of the rail. So I got confirmation that they use 3 gauge steel on the rails of this bench to hold to hold the load. And they bend it too, that it probably adds a lot of rigidity to this design. And so it's not just 11 gauge steel, it's 11 and 3 gauge steel, actually.
So what's interesting to me is, I mean, that would actually be like I would think that would be a selling point. Because it goes to the bench being more stable and safe to use. So Boulder's Lines thinks that you've got an optical illusion that your camera is just messy. No, it's the light, man. It's the lights. He sets the mood. His arms go into the gym. He comes in a little bit later after them because they walk in by themselves. All right, they don't. Everybody doesn't go to the gym at the same time. His arms get to the gym first. I can verify that his arms are that size in person, which is when we had that conversation at HomeGymCon. I specifically said, don't out-angle me ever again. Don't come on my show with your arms like that ever again, okay? I'm not afraid to buy you a turtleneck, okay? I'm not. I'm crazy. I'll do it. But anyway, but yeah, it would seem to me that would be something that they would make as a selling point, saying like our benches are this stable, this secure, because it's 11 gauge steel, which is almost like at this point now it's almost a gold standard, right? It's almost a gold standard for talking about anything related to gym equipment. It's 11 gauge steel. Like, well, that's actually the thinner steel. We use that, and we used 3 gauge steel. So right. Did they mention to you why they didn't feel it important to go into it? But then they just, and if so, then why they think it was important to do it with the Nighthawk?
They did not say that. So I mean, we could just speculate. I don't know if they want to give away too many design features to the competition, something to that effect, but they did not say why. I did not ask either.
I mean, it's not like the competition can't buy the bench and measure it.
True.
True. I mean, that's how knockoffs happen, kids. All right. Whenever you come out with a new innovative product, I just want you to know that a certain portion of your sales are your future competitors buying it so that they can knock it off. All right. So enjoy those sales while you can. I'm just hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I also don't want you to get an unpleasant surprise. So how long did it take for you to find that out?
Well, I texted them yesterday morning before they were open, because I'm on Eastern time, and within a couple hours or shortly after their office opened in Colorado, presumably, they texted me back.
So
I just sent them 2 questions to clarify, because they just said, yeah, your 5200 is made of 11 gauge steel. And I said, well, I already know that's on the website. And I said, what about the rails? And then that took a little longer, and I got a response to confirm 3 gauge on this.
So you reached out to the Colorado headquarters, not to the Pennsylvania. It's Pennsylvania. Yeah, the Pennsylvania showroom.
There's a customer service number, and you can text it too, actually.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. All right. But hey, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, to me, it makes me like the AB 5200 even more. That's already well, I'll tell you guys. So we bought the AB 5200 1.0, and I wasn't sure how long we were gonna stick with it. I mean, I bought it with my own money, and I was like, I like it, but I picked it because it's stored vertically. But what I didn't like about it is it didn't have this is 1.0. It didn't have a decline option, and every time, so like for example, yesterday I had decline nose crushers programmed, and I'm like, well, I mean, I was able to figure out a way to do it, but I can't do stuff like that with my current bench, right? Now, Marcus from Twisted Barbell, I did a review of the 1.0, and he has a hack that you can use where you put your legs on the other side of the bench, but I'm not trying to do all that, okay? So I say all that to say that originally I was planning on getting rid of it once I found another bench that stored vertically but had a decline option, and then Rep came out with the AB 5200 2.0. I used it at HomeGymCon. I was like, hey, we may go ahead and get rid of the 1.0, get the 2.0. But we still haven't done it because I fell in love with at the same HomeGymCon, I fell in love with the Infinity Bench from Exponent Edge. And I was like, well, I'm not about to buy 2 benches. So let's keep that one. And the Infinity Bench, I believe, has a decline. Well, they've got a decline option. And they've also got more options. So I was like, well, that'll be my kind of transformer bench, if you will. And the 5200 that we already have will just be like the, just the basics. But so as a result, we've kept it longer than we thought we would. But I'm still happy with it, aside from the decline thing. You know what I mean? It's stable. I realized that I tightened the bolts on the seat because it was a little bit wobbly. And that was like 3 days ago. And I stopped while I was doing it. And I was like, is this the first time I've tightened the bolts since I put it together? You know what I mean? I think about how much you use something and to like only have to tighten the bolts once, and I didn't use like an impact. I was afraid to use my impact on that. So I literally just tightened it down with, hand tighten, with hand tighten with some tools, but still it wasn't like I didn't crank down on it. I didn't want to strip the bolt.
When did you get that bench?
Man, I've had it. So I did the review with Marcus. I did the review with Marcus. I did the review with Marcus before the second HomeGymCon. So when we did the review, let me see. I'm actually looking on YouTube right now. The AB 5200.
Yeah, I know the 1.0 was very highly regarded bench.
I did my first review for it in February of 2022. Yeah, February 2022.
You got your money's worth out of that then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm thinking like, again, this is my first time that I remember tightening the bolts for any reason. That to me that's a tremendous testimony to how good the bench works. So yeah, man, I like that. I like this topic. So that's good information. So does anybody have any, besides whether Jared's arms cause the blur effect? Does anybody, I'm not making that up. That is actually a comment. Well, you know how the live chat is. All right.
I did not find out the Nighthawks rail gauge. So I know Carp just got one, Porter's got one ordered. So if you guys want to find that out, so you just know something more about your bench, let us know. I'd be curious.
That is a good point right there. Yeah. So Carp is going to be watching on replay. By this time he's probably working. So Carp, if you're watching on replay, do me a favor and drop a comment and let us know if you've, number one, have you received the bench yet? And if you haven't, when you do, please include that in your review. What are the gauges of everything? All the different components of the bench. So I'd be interested to know that as well.
Yeah, I'd be curious where they use 7 gauge on the frame of that one. I don't, because if they only use 11 all throughout this, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do have a confession, John.
Go ahead.
This is my second AB 5200 2.0.
Why did you buy 2?
I got sick of the first color scheme.
You know what? I got rid of a power rack because it was orange. So I cannot make fun of you. All right. I was like, I couldn't look at it anymore. And I knew somebody who needed one and I just gave it to him. And I was just like, look, I can't do that Tennessee color anymore. And it had to go, it just had to go. All right. Well, man, do you got anything else you want to plug? Everybody, matter of fact, let's do this right. Everybody go and give Jared a follow on Instagram. Follow at jared.freedomgym on Instagram. He's a good follow. And if you follow him and he follows you back, maybe he'll send you DMs about cool stuff too. Probably not. I'm special. I'm kidding. He'll probably do that as well. Let's see if we got any more comments, and then if not, then you dang right it's a tendency issue. Okay, in this house, see that? You see that sign? Okay, Georgia Bulldogs. All right, Georgia Bulldogs. We shall return. By the way. Anyway, but yeah. So unless anybody, it doesn't look like anybody has any questions for you, so everybody follow Jared on Instagram. And I'll let you get on with the rest of your day, man. Go put on a nice billowy shirt.
Okay. Thanks for having me. Have a good weekend.
Man. All right, man. You too. Tell the kids I say hey.
All right.
All right, man. Later. All right. That's my guy, Jared. You notice I said for him to tell his kids, I said, hey, because his kids motivated me because they love to sing the Recliner of Rage song. And that's really awesome. All right. So that's it for today's show. I've got to walk my dog and finish my review of the run. What is it called? The Run treadmill. And it is what you call it, waiting for me right now in my garage. In fact, there it is right there. See, it's waiting for me in my garage. So if you guys I posted this same video on Instagram at Garage Gym Life. So if you guys have any specific questions that you would like for me to answer about this treadmill, go to at Garage Gym Life on Instagram, find this video, and drop a comment there, and I will answer those questions as part of the video review. Okay, that's the Run. The name of the company is The Run. So it's The Run Incline Treadmill. Next week, coming up next week, we have Matt Dawson from Ironmaster will be here. He's going to be giving us their feedback from FIBO 2025, which is where they are right now, as well as he's going to talk about how FIBO and HFA compare with a more home gym focused event like HomeGymCon. Plus, my dude Jack Brimhall from will join us to let us know what he's been up to at the Brimhall Barbell YouTube channel. Last time he was here, Jack was fresh off a trip from visiting gyms in Cuba, so there's no telling what he's got going on now. Make sure that you guys follow at Garage Gym Life on Threads, because that's where I give you guys the latest information about what's happening on this channel. Make sure that you follow Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life on LinkedIn, because that's where you're going to get information about what's happening on the show. And it will help us get to our goal of 150 subscribers so that we can start to stream the show live to LinkedIn. All right. In the meantime, thank you guys for being here. Have an excellent weekend. Peace out.